A warm welcome to you. This is the AM show. It's a Friday. Boy, I'm so glad the weekend has come. It's been an exhausting week, draining week. I'm knackered, but I'm here to do what we do best. And I'd just like to salute this morning the team, the wonderful team I work with that makes all of this happen. From my producer, Derek Ekosam. We're on the same wavelength. On Yao Forsen, Dennis, Quiver, and everybody in here. Camera, sound, lighting. They make it happen every morning. It's not easy, but we do it. And I just felt like saluting them this morning, right at the start of the show. Well, Friday has come, and we're going to delve into the usual. We're going to bring you the news shortly. And right after that, guess who joins me? Samuel Mbura. You know him. He's on our political desk. He'll be joining me for the news review, followed by, well, sports. And then we get into our blunt thoughts for the day. I'll be sharing my thoughts still on the renal department at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, and then our economy. But then for our big stories, following the spillage of the Akosombo Dam, many areas were submerged. Bator is one of such areas. Now, the Mankralo of the Bator traditional area gave government a 2-week ultimatum to come up with a compensation and relocation plan, or else, what would they do? They would bust themselves to the Saglimi affordable housing unit. Now, as the deadline approaches, actually this Sunday, we'll be speaking to the Mankralo on the AM show today to get the latest scoop on how far they progressed on that matter. Then again, we'll be hosting EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and of course, they are headline sponsors of this year's EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair, like they've done for a long while now. We'll be hosting them right here in the studio and hearing what they have to share with us. Again, we invite you to have your say in the course of the show. Listen, the show is all about you. We'd love to hear from you, but like I always say, don't be so politically slanted. So have such a tincture in your glasses that you cannot see beyond what is fact and what is fiction. That is all. Season your words, ensure you're not insulting anybody, and shoot the message. That way, it gets read. If not, it will not get read, and you'd just be wasting your data. When we activate the phone lines as well, be sure to give us a call. That's what we have lined up for you this morning. But up next, the news. My name is Benjamin Akakpo. Thank you for staying for the AM News. Now, in our first story, it's been more than 2 years since Senior Lands Administrative Officer and mother of two, Rodeline Amwadako, went missing. Her husband, Dr. Wilberforce Agri of the Petroleum Department of KNUST, is on trial at the Kumasi High Court, accused of kidnapping his wife. Now, the family of 32-year-old Rodeline has announced a 100,000 Ghana cedi reward for information leading to the location of their relative. Oheming Tewia of our security desk visited the family house where devastated relatives remain hopeful of seeing their missing kinsman alive.
Dear Lord, my father, my daughter Rhoda got missing in 2021, August.
A tearful and distraught mother seeks answers to finding her missing daughter, described as a breadwinner of the family. Cecilia Obiniwa Apia, the mother of missing Rodeline Amwadako, is a former headmistress of the Krobo Girls Senior High School, currently on retirement. Traumatized by the disappearance of her daughter, she looks up to a divine intervention to soothe her anguish.
It has been 2 years of sorrow, 2 years of expectation. Expecting that I'll get up one day, then I'll hear that Rhoda has come. I've waited and waited and waited, and it's 2 years plus now, and to no avail. It has not been easy at all as a mother. The angels of God, I'm praying that they bring her from wherever Rhoda has been kept to me, so that it will be a Christmas bonus for me.
Police prosecutors told the Asokwa District Court in 2022 their preliminary investigations linked Dr. Wilberforce Agri of the Petroleum Department of KNUST to an altered kidnapping note. Police also accused him of using his wife's phone to distribute text messages from a spot near his KNUST campus home. But he was discharged by the court in February 2022 and subsequently rearrested to face new charges at the Kumasi High Court, where he was subsequently granted bail. Two other suspects, Justice Apia and Yao Amwatin, said to have sold and bought a phone belonging to Maxine Rodalin Amwadako, are also standing trial. But the family of Rodalin is courting public support to help find their kinsman.
I am appealing to Ghanaians. I'm so on my knees that whoever has heard of where Rhoda has been kept, whoever had a clue as to where Rhoda is, and whoever was involved in Rhoda's kidnap, please, you should all let me know. Help me find Rhoda.
Madam Obiniwa says the family will reward anyone who volunteers information to help locate her daughter.
When you have any information that will lead us to the whereabouts of Rhoda, please, you can use these numbers: 053 56 31278. This is the second number. 053 55 835 13. Whoever else has to find Rhoda, we have 100,000 Ghana cedis ransom for that person.
Meanwhile, the Kumasi High Court is expected to hear the case on November 13, 2023, after suffering several adjournments.
From Accra, for Joy News, my name is Ohimi Interior.
We move on now and talk about Deputy Minister for Health, Mahama Asei-Sheni, who has assured that government has not abandoned the construction of the third phase of the Tamale Teaching Hospital. He says though the project has delayed, government remains committed in ensuring that it is executed. He spoke at the 50th anniversary celebration of the Tamale Teaching Hospital.
The 50th anniversary celebration of the Tamale Teaching Hospital was on the theme TTH at 50, changing the narrative, repositioning for excellence. The Deputy Minister of Health, Mahama Asei-Sheni, said government was committed to the project even though it had delayed.
I wish to assure you that the government has not abandoned the history expansion project of the Tamale Teaching Hospital. We remain committed to the project, although it has delayed. The investment in health infrastructure, resources and policies is higher on the government's program to enable the sector to strive and serve its purpose effectively. We also thank our international partners and donor organizations as they have made substantial contributions to the sector of hospitals, notably the Tamale Teaching Hospital.
The overlord of Dabong, Yana Abukari II, whose speech was read on his behalf by the Chief of Zangbalong, Dr. Yakubu Mahama, commended the staff of the Tamale Teaching Hospital, but also raised concerns over the lack of leadership at the facility.
Of course, it goes without saying that at certain times the health workers have not been their best. That's leading to unfortunate outcomes. The absence of the needed inputs to deliver quality service have more often than not been the cause of these unfortunate outcomes. This you can understand because of the delay in receiving reimbursement from the National Health Insurance Authority. But there have also been occasions when the fault rests squarely on the health worker due to inadequate skills, negligence, and greed. It is also worth noting that over a long period of time, health worker apathy and indiscipline have been the order of the day. This kind of indiscipline has attracted various reactions from the people of Tamale, including anonymous letters, petitions to Biwa Palace, and invasions of the premises of the hospital. These acts of indiscipline by the health workers are engendered by the interferences of political leaders, chiefs, and influential personalities in our society. But they have also been cared considerably by a strong, courageous, and strict leadership, which has been lacking in this hospital for a long time.
The Northern Regional Minister, Shani Al-Hassan Shaibu, said the region was the highest beneficiary of the Agenda 111 project, with the Northern region receiving 10 of the hospitals.
You are no doubt aware, the flagship project of our government in the health sector is the Agenda 111, which was launched on the 17th of August 2021 by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. Now, Chairman, the Northern region is a beneficiary of 9 Agenda 111 projects, including 1 psychiatric hospital, making the whole projects in the Northern region 10, and that happens to be the highest beneficiary of the Agenda 111 projects in the country.
Chief Executive Officer of the TTH, Dr. Atiku Adam, on his part said the TTH is the 3rd largest tertiary facility in the country, taking care of the 5 regions of the north, including the Oti and Bono regions.
It provides tertiary level care for clients across the 5 regions of Ghana, that's the 5 northern regions, including Oti and Bono regions, as well as the neighboring countries, Burkina Faso, Togo, and La Côte d'Ivoire. We attend to about 120,000 outpatients, 20,000 inpatients, and conduct 8,000 deliveries every year. In order to meet the complex and wide range of health needs within our catchment area, the hospital over the past couple of years has added onto the bouquet of services it provides.
Now, nearly 4,000 persons, mainly peasant farmers and fisher folk in 6 districts in the Oti region, have been affected by flooding of the Volta Lake as a result of the spillage. Some residents in the Kratchi East municipality have been sharing their ordeals with our correspondent, Peter Sinu.
According to the Oti Regional NADMO Director, Edward Kuma, 3,874 residents in 6 districts in the Oti region have been affected by the flooding of the Volta Lake, which was as a result of the flooding of the lake upstream. Although the spillage of the Akosombo Dam did not directly affect the residents, the flooding upstream which occasioned the spillage did. The mostly peasant farmers and fisher folks have lost their homes and farms done along the lake before the flooding began. Raymond is one of the affected persons at Oruto in the Kratchi West municipality. We used to farm along this stretch. This year we cultivated some crops, cassava, maize and groundnuts, but all have been destroyed by the flood. This building belongs to my father, so some of us had to relocate to high ground. We are stranded because all our food crops have been destroyed. We now have to buy food.
About 2 years and sana kunko su bia na bani na nsia no de ye do a eye beba no na anyi ono na ye gusu ye na kunko su de mi nyamba na we nsu abefa ni nyina nti ama ye ho akire etoduani.
He said similar incident happened 13 years ago.
Okay, about 13 years now. 13 years now. And it just onto the same thing.
Abraham is another victim to the Volta Lake flood. He has lost his home and farms to the flood. Our building and other belongings have been destroyed. This makes it difficult for us to do any work. Our farms have all been destroyed. The residents also have the flood and its attendant contaminations to deal with. We drink the lake without treatment, and this makes our children sick. It is in this regard that World Vision Ghana has stepped in to support the victims of the flood with some health and hygiene items worth 24 million Ghana cedis. The NGO has also procured 200 pieces of mattresses and 1,500 pieces of exercise books for distribution. More importantly is the access to potable water in these hard times. After a purifier was dropped in the fresh water and stirred for about 10 minutes, this is the result. The expression on the face of the assembly member tells it all. Here is his advice for the residents.
The true demonstration, no, and a man who say, Sena, and soon I am no, your prisoners, MIA. Me too, you know, for say.
It was through the demonstration I realized we were drinking dirt. I advise all those along the lake to rely on the boreholes provided for them. Ivan Abuaji is the manager for World Vision Ghana in the region. He tells us why they have stepped in to bridge the gap.
When you come to the OT region, you will realize that the situation is no different from what we are experiencing downstream in terms of the Volta region area. And so we decided that as much as we are responding to the needs of those at that part, we will also ensure that we provide some emergency items for the people in the OT region as well.
Residents along the lake in Krachi East, Krachi West, Krachi Nchumuru, Biakuye, Nkwanta South and Nkwanta North districts are affected by the flooding. There is the fear of food scarcity in these areas in the ensuing year. Peter Senu for Joy News.
Let's celebrate excellence now. And the words continue to be an embodiment of media excellence in Ghana. Those are the words and the congratulatory message from Stanbic Bank as they celebrated multimedia for sweeping the ultimate prize and the highest number of awards at the recent Ghana Journalists Awards. Now, the bank becomes the latest institution to appreciate the achievements of multimedia in the just ended 27th GJA Awards. The Multimedia Group swept the ultimate award after Erastus Asaridonko was crowned the PAV Ansan Journalist of the Year. To appreciate this achievement, a team from Stanbic Bank paid a courtesy call on Multimedia Thursday to spend some quality time with the awardees and management. The bank, as part of its congratulatory gesture to the awardees, gifted them citations and gift vouchers.
The Multimedia Group continues to receive recognition for the astounding laurels some members of staff attained at the 27th GJA Awards. 8 journalists from the group received various awards at the event. In view of this achievement, financial partner to the brand Stanbic Bank on Thursday visited the team to congratulate the awardees. Speaking to Joy News after a short event, Executive Head of Brand and Marketing at Stanbic Bank, Mauko Afejoni, said multimedia has become an embodiment of excellence and therefore urged the team members not to relent on the effort to maintain high standards and quality content.
We came here to celebrate with multimedia. Decades of excellence is what multimedia has come to embody. And as one of our very most important partners, we had to be here to appreciate and to applaud what multimedia has done. I mean, if you look at the spread and the spectrum of the awards, the fact that multimedia was at the top and equally critically has become a very important pipeline for talent is one that the nation needs to celebrate. As a brand, we say that Ghana is our home, we drive our growth, and one of the most critical growth partners is the media. And to that extent, if you have an institution like multimedia playing the role so cardinal to the development of this country in such an impressive manner, it's only primary and it becomes an imperative for us to applaud, acknowledge, and encourage multimedia.
General Manager of Multimedia, Fifi Compson, on behalf of the group, expressed appreciation to the Stanbic Bank for the heartwarming recognition of the hard work of the staff of Multimedia.
It's exciting that our banking partners will recognize the hard work of our team here at Joy News. I believe and trust that this relationship is for the long haul. Of course, Stanbic has been a partner for so many years, and we are really excited about this opportunity to break bread with them. Our partnership over the period, over the years, has been great, and I believe that this even is the icing on the cake, making it even better.
Speaking on behalf of all the awardees, the PAB and Sun Journalist of the Year, Erastus Saradonko, said the recognition from the reputable bank will motivate them in their journey to positively impact society through journalism.
I think it's an encouragement to the business that I represent and work for, and it's an honor to be dining with such big people from Stanbic Bank. So we say Aiko to Stanbic Bank for associating themselves with this brand for what we do, and we'll forever be grateful. It also encourages me to do more. So far, I've also received invitations from schools that want to view or want to show my documentary, especially The Poison for Gold, live to students to encourage them to help in the fight against illegal mining. So I must say we are grateful to all such patrons, and they should continue to also live and work with the multimedia brands.
The gesture from Stanbic Bank is expected to strengthen the partnership between the two brands for their mutual benefits.
And it's on that celebratory note that we cap off the news. But stay with us. Up next, the news review. Thank you for staying with us. Time now for us to get into the news review and the usual culprit on a Friday morning. My man, my brother, in everything good, although so he's sometimes up to mischief. He's rocking some white pants today. Bukum Banku spoke about a white shirt. A man can never be careful unless he's decked in a white shirt. But Ojam decided to come in white trousers.
And drives a white car.
And drives a white car.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is your car white?
I didn't say so. My brother.
Charlie, thanks for coming. Lovely shirts, by the way.
Thanks. Grateful. Yours also splendid.
Oh, yeah. How we could do them? This one is by Seraban Clothing. Seraban Kwa. I'm buying pressure for you, so...
No problem. I understand.
I think I'm at my mischievous best this morning. I'm full of mischief.
I know. We always do it behind the scenes, but if one is to bring it on, come go ahead.
Anyway, so let's do this. My producer is whispering some things into my ear that I shouldn't. He wants to feel the mischief, but I will not go down that road. If you're joining us this morning, time now for the news review. It's brought to us courtesy of Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. They're offering, if you're a man out there, you've crossed 35, some would say 40. I advise from 35, start checking out your prostate. If you're a woman, what's your fertility status? Do you know? And that's why you ought to end up at Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. They will sort you out for the screening for free, okay? And this is where you can locate them. Here at in Accra at Spintex, opposite the Shell signboard. In Kumasi, if that's where you are, Kronum Abwehia, behind the Angel Educational Complex. In Takrade, Anaji Estates is where you can locate them. If you come back to the Greater Accra region, Tema, they are located in Community 22. There's Techiman Hanswa and Esiamansama. Their call lines, please give them a call today. Get yourself checked. 0244 068 0244, let me just check that number. 867-068. Today it's playing games with me. Or 0274-234-321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. But just the start of the news review, and here we go. So I have the Daily Graphic and the Finder newspaper. What do you have this morning?
I have the Daily Guide, the Ghanaian Times, and the Daily Statesman.
Okay, so you know how we do it. Before we get into the papers, I always want to find out. What's been your most topical issue this week? One or two? And what are your thoughts on these?
I think first would be the dialysis situation that is at the heart of our conversation in the country here. We had to push with our news reportage, ensure that we follow up on all those who matter to ensure that this issue is resolved. Now, the good news is that we heard from the health minister, which has also been captured by the papers here, that 4 million Ghana cedis has been approved to clear the Kolebu debt, dialysis debt, and we hope that that situation is resolved. Until you are met with such a situation, you would not understand the point here.
Until you are there.
Yeah, the fees for dialysis. People are now rationing their dialysis session. So when we are talking, you think that this is a disease for the rich. I'm so
and
sad.
Now on the back of Galamsey and everything, it's become a disease for everybody.
In Erastus's documentary, we have seen that we are all now exposed to kidney diseases because of the Galamsey. The fish you eat, all the natural stuff that you eat, they are polluted to an extent. Now, if you go to some regions, I can speak about the northern, for instance. I understand Upper West has 2. Upper East region had none. Until recently, there was an advocacy to get some. And we had private individuals coming in to help, and they are now installing a dialysis center at the Bogatanga hospital. So you have a population of over 1 million having a single dialysis machine to deal with kidney situation, and we are getting reports that the situation is escalating day by day. People are not able to afford it. People move all the way from Wale, from Boga to Tamale for dialysis session. Others move from Wa, if it is choked, Northeast, Savannah, to all those areas. So you can imagine the pressure and the reason we have to be deliberate about the situation. I don't know whether our people who are at the front of policy making have not had this clairvoyance that in future we have these challenges. So let us put the situation in order before we get to a dire situation whereby we all have to be running helter-skelter as a country. It is not only the aged. There was a report by my colleague Maxwell Agbagba. A 16-year-old boy is also having kidney problems. As young as we are, we can also have. It doesn't matter the age bracket. So this is something that all of us must have interest in. You must not leave it to the media alone, the civil society organizations, the religious bodies. Let's come together, put pressure for the right thing to be done. I know some of the big men, they may have these machines at home. So they don't care. Some may not care. Yeah. Because some of them
some can even they can even afford to have it.
They have it. Some of the big men, they have it in this country. They have it at home.
Yeah.
I know some, but I wouldn't mention it.
So whatever happens at Kolebu or the Fiankwanta Hospital, they don't.
So if you and I don't come out, then we'll fight together for it. Then the future of our children and the immediate future is seriously at threat. And I think there's a good move. We've heard from Parliament, and they are raising the 4 million Ghana cedis to clear the debt at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
In the coming months and years, we're going to see many, many, many diseases that are not commonplace here. Because when you're exposed to mercury, arsenic, cyanide, chromium, and all of these other heavy metals that are meant to be hidden deep within the earth, God in his infinite wisdom placed them there for a certain reason. By digging, we're exposing them to the higher part of our environment, exposing ourselves to them, and now they are, we're getting hurt by those toxins. And just because of a few people's greed. There's this quote about satisfying the need of the masses versus a few people's greed. And that is Galamsey. That is it. I mean, no matter how you want to look at it, from the bottom to the top, to the politicians in there doing this, it is because of a few people's greed. And the rest of us will bleed because of them. Because of them.
It's so sad. It's so sad. But we hope that we'll get there someday. Let's continue to push. The last time I attended a TUC engagement with John Dramani Mahama. They gave their manifesto, what they call the Workers' Manifesto. And some of these issues were, raised that, look, this is our manifesto from the Trades Union Congress. We want you, the political parties, to feature them in your manifesto. So when you come into office, we would hold you accountable.
And that is a very strong group. Their numbers are huge.
Exactly. So let's continue the movement. The movement should be stronger for us to push forward our demands. And then those that will put at the helm of affairs will work on it for us. If not, we'll talk, the media will talk, nothing will come up. I think the next big story has to do with the fact that over the weekend, last weekend, we had the MPP-elect is a flag bearer. Amidst all the troubles, it was successful. I was on the grounds from the MPP headquarters. Later, I was at the Vice President's campaign office, and then proceeded and ended at the Accra Sports Stadium, where they held a final handing over. The President Akufo-Addo said that the 2024 election is not going to be an easy one. They should all go out and campaign. And the battle lines have now been set. And I think that getting into the 2024 election, we know what we want as Ghanaians. The presumptive candidate for the movement that is being led by Alan Chamante, he's already on standby as the third force. We have John Mahama elected by the NDC. Bawumia is here. So we are now looking at what their message will be. It is now that we should be hearing from them the messages that they want, or the policies they want to implement if they are given the opportunity to lead the country. And we must all be keen. Let's record all the information or the promises that they will give us, so that if any of them is given the mandate, then we can hold them accountable for the promises that they have made to Ghanaians. So for me, these were the big stories from Saturday till today. But the outstanding one has to do with the health issue, because your health is your wealth.
There's something interesting, though, that comes to mind. You know, when you read our Constitution, the bit about contesting in an election, I don't know, but it talks about a political party and all of that. Do you know where I'm a bit curious?
Yeah.
You know, Alan says his is not a political party, it's a movement. I'm wondering whether, per the Constitution and what it stipulates, his movement will qualify to, be there to contest the election. If you're an independent political party or an independent candidate, there are things that go with it. But this whole bit about a movement, I don't know. I'm not too, but we'll see how.
Movement is it's an alliance of people from the various political parties coming together to push a particular agenda.
Can you have a movement, so to speak, on the ballot in terms of without a political party structure? Because even the independent candidates also have to have party offices and districts this and district that. Can you ride on a movement to contest, or do you still need all these requirements that a political party? I think those are the dynamics.
It's something that we need to explore in the subsequent discussions. But it falls within the remit of politics. So far as it is politics, a movement, whether a political party or it all fits into the definition of politics. And so far as you are fighting for the governance of the country, whether a movement or a political party, they are all in the same the same category. So, but I think it is something worth exploring.
But you know why I bring it up?
Clarity,
Because every time before elections, you have candidates that are disqualified by the Electoral Commission. And so if Alan wants to make his mark, I think that's something he has to get clarity on.
So maybe if he says it is a movement, the requirement of getting district offices across the country may be exempt. Maybe that's the angle is coming.
And that's the clarity you don't want to, because if at the last minute the EC tells you, you can't, we've seen it in this country before, you can't contest, then it becomes a big issue. Any other stories?
All right, so we can just zoom into the newspapers, Daily Guide. The big story here is Bawumia storms Ken's house, his main contender in the just ended Congress. He went to pay him a surprise visit after winning the election. I don't know whether you saw the expression, the body communication from Kennedy Japan, when the results were announced by the EC at the Ohinijan Sports Stadium. You could realize that.
What did you see?
I saw him biting his lips. His finger was also on his, around the lip region. And I don't know how he was feeling at that moment. We could realize that his body communication, he wasn't comfortable. He was anticipating that at least I should have been the one being declared. But he has been speaking after the Congress. He says that he's not going to support any MP because what the MPs
he's not going to.
No, he's not going to support any MP.
Okay.
Any MP who has an intention to contest the election should not come to him for any support, because what they have done to him, he has not forgotten.
Oh wow! But didn't he learn from Sir John? Fear delegates.
So he now fears MPs. That is his.
So now it is fear MPs.
So as part of rallying supports from all those who matter in the party ahead of the 2024 elections, the vice president, after being elected as the flag bearer, is moving from one person to the other to at least try and seal the differences. He was at the MPP headquarters. He has also paid a courtesy call on the former president, John Kufuor, and then he will subsequently visit Dr. Efia Akoto and all the people who matter. Because, now he's looking for his running mates. There's pressure. I know there are other stories that are captured, but where we can do that analysis as well. Where should the running mate come from? Should they be from Ashanti? Should they be from the Central? Should you just go
We've seen about 7 people's names come up.
7 people, the names that have come up, Charlie. Some way be, maybe. Ghana, Czech Republic strike new chord. Questioning fire about political agenda. According to a witness, we have 4 million Ghana cedis approved to clear the Kolebu Teaching Hospital dialysis there. So I think we have already dealt with some of these stories that I've just mentioned to you. But the back page of the Daily Guide, Stars coach faces sack. Black Stars coach Chris Hughton faces the sack ahead of Ghana's 2026 World Cup qualification or qualifiers against Madagascar and Comoros next week. So if he fails to qualify to win this game, meaning his job will be
on the line.
Yeah. So.
But some have said that there seems to be some plan to do that. Is it from the GFA to sack him or something of the sort? And that the administration, government has a bit of a say, though you cannot interfere in football. Once the funding and all of that, they have a bit of a way of going about it. And I hear a name that has come up is George Boateng or so, and people are saying he's going to be a disaster because he has no track record, he has no credibility, so to speak. I mean, I'm just re-echoing what some people have said. It is not to take away from him because sometimes you pick that person you think cannot, and that person rather. Exactly. Look at Zidane when he started his coaching.
So, the question I'm asking is that Kwesi Appiah, the performance.
He's now in Sudan.
Yeah, so if you want to look at the analysis, the performance of Kwesi Appiah and this particular current coach or the subsequent coaches that came to him, what would you say that they have done better than Kwesi Appiah?
Okay, so Kwesi Appiah in his, was it second coming? Then there was Otto Addo, who got us to the World Cup.
Exactly, yeah.
And, of course, we crashed out at the initial stages, but at least we beat South Korea by 3-2. Yeah. We went to the World Cup. Then he left. He resigned. And then we opted for his, I think Chris Hughton was his technical advisor. Yeah. And this is how it's gone. So, I don't know. Some are also saying maybe it's time to go back to, the foreign coaches. I don't know.
Do you think that we should go for?
I don't know.
You don't think our own can do it?
Do you know what I think? I think we need delivery, and that's all. It doesn't matter. Look at the Black Queens.
Yeah.
Is it But have you seen the lady? I think she's from Sweden or Australia or one of those places.
They've
gone, 11, 12 matches unbeaten. That's what I'm talking about. I see. That's someone who can whip the players in line.
We are not putting any attention on them at all.
And that is my problem. That's what I always get. I've said it here, time without number, that these football players, the men, they are not delivering. The women are, and we are not motivating them. Over time, it may start affecting their morale. They may, look at, is it this team that recently beats the Moroccan team at the club championship? Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Last year, Hazake's ladies and all of that. We're not investing in female soccer. Look at the US. Yeah. And in the US, there's some parity. What the male team gets is what the female team gets.
Yeah.
So if you perform, you're on the same level. Look at us.
That's a sad situation there. Would you go for the daily graphic, or I should?
Let me quickly do that. 2 power packs to generate 750 megawatts. That's according to the energy minister. Scammed, waiting in pain and in vain. That story's on page 13. WIAC releases BEC results. Over 22,000 candidate scripts under scrutiny. And Justice Ankama did no wrong. That's according to the Judicial Council. On the back page, Finance Ministry to settle 4 million Ghana Cedi Kolebu renal unit debt. So let me get into some of those stories. But then on page 17 as well, politics, selection of running mates. Mahama Bawumia must look south. That's according to Professor Alidu.
Yeah. So the one who worked the magic is, it is historic that we have, tribe plays a critical role in politics. 2 leaders leading 2 major political parties from the northern part of the country.
Right. Unprecedented.
Yeah. So what has happened is that for the past years, it's like the NDC has not paid much attention to the north. The MPP, which holds the view that they don't have much support, has invested much time there. It appears they are getting more of the support from the north. And now that Bawumia has been elected,
it likely means they will get even more support from the Northern Belt.
So that's where the contest is going to be it's going to be keen to watch, because now who would break or lose for any of the political parties will have to be the choice of the running mate. Some are of the view that now that Ken has performed well in the just ended Congress, why don't you just go with him? Others are also rooting strongly that, look, Ashanti region is the World Bank or the electoral World Bank of the MPP, so far as elections are concerned in Ghana. So why don't you go for one? And that's why some of the names came. I mean, just the recent newspapers, you saw names like Osei Mensah Bonsu, Edichum, the education minister, and then some are just saying that the running mate should come from the Ashanti region to get the full backing of the Ashantis. If not, they may tilt towards Alan's movement. So it is now a mind game.
Now we saw those young people, all those people who recently masked up, purportedly lending their support to Alan Chabating.
So it is a break or lose for Bawumia to take a candidate from the Ashanti region or any part of the country. Mahama too,
or the central region.
Yeah, the pressure too is on Mahama to pick from Ashanti region. This time around, we are not likely to see someone from central region partnering Mahama. The pressure is on the Ashanti region.
That
is a grapevine.
Which crystal ball did you look at?
That's a grapevine.
Because all indications, most indications point to the fact that Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman might come on board again. And we all know where she's from.
In the country, we have other grapevine information coming in that, look, now that the MPP has elected a Northerner, we must also be strategic. Getting a leader or a running mate that can help us sweep most of the regions to win the 2024 election. So it's going to be critical. This is a crucial moment. We know meetings have been held upon meetings. We may think that it's too early, but they have already started a consultation. You've seen Parliament, MPs jostling for the flag bearer.
But you look at some of them though, and it's laughable. I'm sorry. You look at some of them, because some of them, if you even look at their lack of decorum, their lack of sophistication, even in
they're not tolerant. Some of them
emotional intelligence and speaking to people, you ask yourself, are these the people we really want to be anywhere close to leadership? And if not for politics, whether they would have sniffed anything close to the positions they occupy.
Yeah, as a leader, you must have that stomach to room all manner of, let me say, nonsense. Some of them don't have that patience. They don't have that political intelligence.
Some of them are arrogant.
Exactly. Some of them, you interview them, you ask them questions, and their demeanor alone.
There was one of these people in the fray who, some time back, met one of the hosts here, someone who has been on the AM show.
Okay.
And I just don't want to mention the person's name. Right here, and the person was approaching. Hey, you. What kind of rustic cavemanish behavior is that? Someone like that, it's despicable.
There's currently tension, political tension. So you need someone who can calm the nerves of Ghanaians, because they're agitated. They are looking at how the economy can be better going forward, and someone who has that appealing character. Someone, when he speaks, at least it reduces the tension. The person speaks to the conscience of the people, appeals to pity. Not someone who is so rude, someone who is intolerant, someone who thinks he knows it all, and then we don't want to listen to anyone at all because he thinks that I've gotten to where I've gotten because of my profession or my intelligence or the resources that I have.
Anyway, let's get into some other stories. There's also the Scorpion Man of Funsi. Before I get into the more, I just want to look at this. It's on page 21. Interesting story.
Yeah.
So it may be unusual for humans to associate with or keep scorpions as pets because they are venomous creatures. In fact, scorpions have long been feared for being dangerous creatures, as their venom is so deadly that you would need twice the antivenom treatment to cure the pain.
Yeah.
However, Nuruddin Afabe, a 40-year-old herbalist at Funsi in the Wa West district in the Upper West region, is sending tongues wagging in the area. Mr. Afabe, popularly known as Trouble, that's his name, has gained popularity in the Sisala enclave for the potency of his herbal medicine in treating scorpion stings and also for keeping the arachnids as pets. Now, he carries about 30 live scorpions in his red hat.
Wow.
In his red hat. ostensibly to demonstrate the potency of the herbal concoction for the treatment of scorpion bites. Wrapping them in a red hat and wearing it, he carries them around, particularly at social gatherings such as weddings and festivals, to market his products. In demonstrating his prowess, the herbalist often places his fingers on the tails of the scorpions without being stung by them.
Wow, that's interesting. And that story was written by my good brother, Mohammed Fogo. The Daily Graphic.
This is amazing.
I saw it on social media fed by one Fatah Wayamga. I mean, he has been an advocate of tourism in the Upper West region. I saw it on his social media. So I was really surprised that someone is keeping, these creatures as
live scorpions.
Yeah.
And these are the black type. I see most of them are the black scorpion, and then...
If you have never had an experience with a scorpion before, you may not understand what
I say back in school, Bishop Herman.
Yeah.
In the boarding house, there was this day, it was just God. Because I was sitting on this little raised, I think there was water underneath that point, around, house 6 and another one. And I just felt something, so I moved my legs. Apparently, a scorpion had come to, the way it would have stung me. And back then, the school farm and everything, you would see all kinds of snakes, scorpions. It was... that day because the pain you would feel.
Yeah, that's true. That's interesting.
It is what it is. There's also the story, I will just go back to it. All of us, reminder, protect your kidneys. A consultant physician and kidney specialist at the Department of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Winfred Barr, has advised people to protect their kidneys and not do things that will harm them. He mentioned some of the harmful practices to include recurrent kidney infections, also called pyelonephritis, smoking, drinking alcohol, not drinking enough water daily, and obesity. Other causes are family history of kidney disease. You have to watch yourself if there is that. Abnormal kidney structure and old age. He also mentioned the top 3 causes or risk factors of chronic kidney disease in the country to be diabetes, high blood pressure, and inflammation of the kidneys filtering units, glomeruli, I think, known as, you might need to hear me on this one, glomerulonephritis. One thing I've realized in medicine, anything itis is not good. Once itis is at the end, you might want to.
So it doesn't matter your age. You should protect your kidneys.
No. Some people. You get exposed even more when you are aged. Age is also, old age is a factor. Of course, let's say you are old and you have diabetes or hypertension or both, there's even more of an exposure. But if you're not watching your diet, you can be 20. Like he mentioned, 16. It doesn't matter.
And as a young man, those young men taking aphrodisiac and all that, you have to stop because it puts more pressure on your kidney. I have seen so many advertisements on social media, luring the young men, and they are excited to take some of these concoctions. So you have to be very careful and then protect your kidney before it is too late.
All right.
It is timely. The advice comes at the time that we all need it.
Let me just blaze through these stories very quickly. Monetization of politics, threat to democracy. That's the NCC boss, my own good friend, Kathleen Addy. Kathleen, if you're watching this morning.
Very good morning.
Good morning. I just saw a post of hers actually on social media. Hello, fam. So, hello right back at you, Kathleen. But then scammed, waiting in pain and in vain. This story re-echoes something I went through recently. I don't want to mention the name of the outfit. I ordered some noodles, okay? On a day when I hadn't eaten, very hungry, I was praying at church, and I wanted, by the time I got there, to have the meal ready. Okay. There was just something off about the conversation and sending Momo, like a Momo payment in advance. But I felt, because they explained that if you paid now, then... I was even getting an extra one.
Yeah.
I go to the place and realize, though it was a small sum, it was 50-something cedis. I realized...
You were scammed.
I had been scammed. It's the same story the person is sharing. So, a child's birthday, they order pizza and a whole lot of stuff, only to get to the outlet and realize that, and here's where the problem lies. There are people creating clone accounts on social media. So if you Google it, let's say you Google this eatery, they pop up first. Then you'll think that is the official number. You call, you place your order, they tell you to send Momo. By the time you realize, you get to the place and there's nothing. It happened to another person who spent over 1,000 cedis recently. Birthday, office, over 1,000 cedis worth of pizza. They got there and realized, you had sent your money to someone else.
I'm someone who supports going digital. However, I'm very skeptical when I'm buying things online. I'm not that type of person that will buy other stuff, bring it without me. I want to inspect what I expect. So that should be the guiding principle. If you want something, inspect it. Whatever you are expecting, you have to inspect. If you not get it. I mean, some people are doing genuine business on the social media, the digital platform, but some are there to scam. So you have to just be very, very careful in all that you do. Be it food that you are buying, be very careful where it is coming from, and then be sure that you are dealing with the right person.
Yeah, G7 calls for humanitarian pauses in Gaza. I've been talking about that. Yeah. 2 power packs to generate 750 megawatts energy, minister says so. So the government has signed 2 new power purchase agreements to shore up the country's power generation by 720 megawatts. I thought we were told we had excess power. Now, what they happen?
That we
you
have
see what's
excess power we are not using.
The specialists had been telling us that, in fact, we'll need more power agreements to sort it out. And this confirms that.
This I'm beginning to hear. I don't know if I'm not understanding it, but the minister was saying that we were having excess power that we're not using and paying for. Now, what has happened? Is it the case that if these 2 new packs that you are signing, it will not give us extra power? I'm not going to pay for it. Why didn't we stay to the old plan where we have the excess power whilst paying for it, other than going to sign in for new ones? This is just a rational question I'm asking. Because if you say that we have excess power that you are trying to get out of that plan, and you are signing in new plans, like what is the rationale behind that?
Yeah.
But at the moment, he also revealed that we have a challenge with our gas supply.
Yeah.
We have gas from the west. That's
so the WAPCO thing, was it ever sorted out? So, because we had ECG come and say, I think it was it 20 million?
Yeah, so there was an agreement.
Dollars or so, and we had paid about 12 and there was 8 million, something like that.
Yeah, so there was an agreement on the payment plan. Entirely, it has not been cleared, but they are...
Do you know why I put that in? Because there was a certain week, many weeks ago, and the ECG boss, Samuel Dubik Mahama, said by the close of that week, they would have defrayed the entirety of the debt and everything would be done. So I'm asking myself, what happened?
So right now, we are now at the beck and call of the WAPCO. As and when they want to put our light or just cut gas supply, they will do it. And you and I will not have light. The reason is that they now regulate the gas flow from the west. So if you owe them and you don't pay in time, they will cut gas supply. And most of our plants are now heavily reliant on the gas plants to power or generate electricity. So that's the situation we have.
You know the song that comes to mind? Did you ever listen to Lord Kenya back then?
Lord Kenya, which song is it? Yeah, I used to. I'm born again. Oh, yeah, I know that song. I do.
For credit, let's check out any other papers before I do the finder.
Fine. I have the Daily Statesman, Czech Republic, PM confess with Baumia. We have government, the power story is here. And the dialysis renal unit story is also here. Then the Ghanaian Times, the race for Jubilee House, JM, Veep, Alan spoiled voters with choice. Minor jailed 15 years for robbing man of mobile phone. And then we have the story about the Kolubu debts on the kidney issue. And then the power purchase agreement that government has says it has signed. So these are the stories making headlines on the papers that I have here.
All right, so let's look at the Finder newspaper today. And of course, ECG's monthly revenue jumps from 480 million Ghana cedis to 1.1 billion Ghana cedis. That's according to Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, the energy minister. Premium Motors unveils fuel-efficient Renault Talion. That's the vehicle there. Sam George stoking religious intolerance with divisive attacks on Dr. Baumia. That's according to Nana Komia. 2023 BEC results released 22,270 scripts under scrutiny. That's according to WAEC. What else do you expect? We are making our children more of a chew, pour, pass, forget generation rather than people who can think. So, creeping culture of anti-democracy developments, stifling free expression. That's according to Professor Kakari. But this story about the ECG raking in more revenue, it reminds me of the tourism minister, Dr. Awal Mohammed, saying in recent times that we had moved from getting 3,000 Ghana cedis
to 1 million.
By the way, I paid a bit. You know, the first time I went there, it was to make a booking for us to go.
Yeah.
This time, I actually spent time there with a friend over one of these weekends. It was in the evening, though.
All right.
And yes, we paid, 50 cedis each and all of that.
As entry fee?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, it's different for foreigners. But I'm asking myself, are they really making the 1.1 million he is saying? And what is the breakdown? I think he's my good friend. I think it is a breakdown that
we have to
need.
take it further on that. Yeah, very, very important.
This bit about Sam George, and then maybe Prof. Kakari, then we can wrap up from here. In a recent turn of events, Nana Komia, the communications director of Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia's campaign, has strongly condemned NDC Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram, Sam Jata George, for his divisive comments regarding Dr. Bawumia's religious affiliation. Sam George accused the Vice President of being, quote, a religious prostitute, alleging that Dr. Bawumia had embraced Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior without providing any evidence. The MP also criticized Dr. Bawumia for his perceived silence on issues related to hijabs, fasting, and police killings of Muslim youth in Kumasi. What do you think about that? The Vice President has been also trying to play the game of, I've been, in the Christian fold before and all of that. But what's your take?
Sam George is a fine man. He's a friend. I think he's
an elder of the Perez Chapel.
He's a good man. He's a friend. I just think that he should apologize. We'll move on. Some of these comments are unnecessary.
Inflammatory.
Yeah. We have been living in a heterogeneous society. It doesn't matter the religion you belong to. It doesn't matter the tribe you are from. We are all one people. We are all one. We are all Ghanaians. And for the purpose of peace and harmony, continuous coexistence in the country, Honorable George, you might not have said it well. One can. So I beg, let's go back and say, man, can. I'm sorry. I should have said it better. He
should sound like Nana Akufo-Addo in Ododo.
Yeah, I never said so.
When he said, Neil Ante Vanderpoel, Debbie man can cry. When he should have said Neil Ante Vanderpoel. Yeah. And Neil Ante Vanderman ended up losing to Neil Ante Vanderpoel, my former classmate. Anyway, so I think I'll skip the Prof. Kakari story. You can grab the copy of the Finder newspaper to get it. Creeping culture of anti-democracy developments, stifling free expression. Before we wrap, happy birthday in advance to Dorcas Elikblim Tabitha Amewonu. Tomorrow is your birthday. You are November's own, 11/11. We wish you God's blessings in everything you do. Enjoy your day. You're a fantastic person. Dorcas, enjoy yourself. There's Daniel Coleman who says, watching the show live from Ahafo Kenyase number 2, Jericho. Greetings to Honorable Patrick Bano, Member of Parliament for Isitifi North. And Koja Sempa says, good morning once again to your listeners from Koja Sempa. Okay, all right. There's this thing I wanted to run by you.
Okay.
The Guinness World Records. There's a story I'm looking at. Teen bodybuilder performs record number of one-armed pull-ups. So you see the bar, one arm pulling up. He did 25 in 1 minute. He's 18 years old. At that level, you have a lot of youthful energy. And he beats the previous tally of 24 set earlier this year by Li Zechuan in China. How many can you do?
I can't.
You can't? Not even two-armed?
Not even. The last time I went to the gym, I don't know why the gym instructor didn't like me. He nearly broke my waist. So since then, I never went to the gym again. So I would never try it. Maybe press up 2, I'm okay.
2 press-ups?
Yeah, I can do that.
There's something about...
I don't want to stress myself.
I think they say at a certain age, if you're not able to do at least 20 or is it 40 push-ups, then you should check your health. So I think we should give you a boot camp.
Maybe I should be able to do it, but I just don't want to do it. Yeah, I don't.
So how do you stay fit? Because you look pretty, or is it your metabolism that is deceiving us?
It's natural.
It's natural, eh?
Yeah, I don't want to alterate the body God has given me. So this is what God has given me. I just want to keep it, and that's why I'm still in shape.
We'll have to have this discussion further moving on.
Before we go, when I went to Bolga to cover the final rally of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, my auntie brought me some correct TZ as a...
TZ?
Yeah, TZ.
I missed that.
Auntie Janet, thank you very much. I'm grateful. God bless you for that. Next time I go to Bolga, I'll go with you so that we can have...
What TZ, by the way, you never tell me.
Oh, yeah, but I told you. Immediately.
You told whom?
Immediately after the AM show, which I reported live from the Bolga Jubilee Park, that's when I went back to the hotel room. Yeah.
Hey, me deal with you.
So Auntie Janet of BOQ in Bolga, I'm very grateful. God bless you.
We are grateful, though we didn't get some. We are all grateful to you. Right before we get into sports, don't you forget, I'll be sharing my blunt thoughts with you today. I'll talk about the renal issue at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, our economy, missing the IMF deadlines or stipulations and all of that. So look forward to it. But this segment is always brought to you by Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. They're offering you free prostate screening if you're a man, free female fertility screening if you're a woman, of course, And here's where you can locate them. Here in Accra, it's Pintex opposite the Shell signboard. Kumasi, Kronoma Boy here behind the Angel Educational Complex. Takra de Anaji State Tema Community 22. Techiman Hanswe the Siama and Zama. Their call lines 0244 867-068 or 0274-234-321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. Sports up next, of course, today. You know how it's going to be. Prime Take with Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. Stay for that.
From their childhood.
So even the separation was more of a separation of their bondage that existed?
Yes, between them. Because if they had gone together, the 1 year that Alfredo Kote had in US, by winning the 8 straight fights, and the 9th fight he lost, the 10th fight would have been a world championship. The two of them would have won their world titles. Before that, because each was an inspiration to the other.
I see.
Whenever I'm put on the local scene, whenever one is fighting, the other one will be in his corner, or both of them will be on the same bill.
Oh, I see. That's quite an interesting one.
Yes.
And what is that special thing that you did for Alfred Kote to win that world title? Because we're now at a point where it appears it's quite difficult. What was those special things that you were doing behind the scenes, helping these boxers build a career of their own?
Well, it's no magic, but you know, it's when I mention all the boxers, then you know that one has to use his brains. On the boxing scene, on the world scene, it's more than politics. The politics that is played there, you have to have the patience. You have to have the contacts. See? And I came to be liked by Suleiman, the BBC president. So anything about Africa or even Ghana had to be channeled through me. He would channel it through me. Even the vice president of the BBC, who happened to be the late Alote Kofi, who was then the president of Ghana Boxing. He, Alote Kofi, attending convention, the BBC convention, all agreement will be channeled through me.
So you know that before you be successful, you need to have the political network at the boxing?
Yes! You have to.
Have we lost that in Ghana? We no longer have that network?
Oh, who is the one to, you know, get in for that? Not the president. Even the president. I don't think even they are familiar with the meetings committee presidents and chairmen and all that. You have to be, you know, associated with them to that level, and that's what gave. I brought up Isaac Dogbe's opportunity.
Okay.
Easy.
Oh, really? So you had to go through that channel?
Yes.
You had to deal with them politically for him to be rated?
Isaac Dogbe went and brought in the world title opportunity.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How did he do it?
Fine. I was approached by the chiefs of one of the couple of chiefs from the Volta region at a boxing tournament at Azuma Nelson Complex. After the fight, these chiefs walked to me and said, "Oh, Mr. Buham, we want you to help our son." Yeah. Which son? They mentioned Isaac Dogbe. Then the father was his trainer. So I said, I'll think about it. And they said, no, as for this, if you think about it and we come and say, oh, then we've all lost, but we want you to be with the team. Fine, I agreed at the long run. And that was where it started. We had a couple of fights, bringing in other fighters. That's right. That's right.
Because I covered those fights closely.
Fine, and all those fights I was in.
Okay.
See, then came the opportunity for Isaac
to fight Jesse Magdalene.
That's right.
Yeah.
So how would it come? Magdalena was then, I think he wasn't available. He was then on, he had an injury.
Okay.
So he was given a time to recover before it was official. So the title, he was holding on to the title till it became that they should fight for it on as an interim championship. Yeah. Fine. It happened that Isaac was ranked number 3, so he had no opportunity. It hasn't reached him at all. You have the mandatory challenger, then come to the first contender, second contender, and then you have Isaac as the third contender. That's where we have risen to.
Oh, okay.
So there was this upcoming convention. Then the father asked, I went to US to visit my son, and then quickly they phoned me. Said, okay, let the boy come to me in the US. And then we went in, registered and went in for the convention. At that time, storm had devastated Puerto Rico. The convention was to be held in Puerto Rico. And those places had then been devastated by the storm. So it was decided that, okay, the convention has to come on at all costs. So a cruise liner, very mighty one, was booked for the convention to be held aboard the cruise liner. So for the 6 days that the convention ran was aboard this cruise liner, which sailed from Florida to Havana in Cuba and back.
Wow.
For a total of 6 days. So for the 6 days we were aboard, Isaac Dogbe and his cousin, using the gym aboard the ship, doing road work, running. They have tracks.
So was it at that conference you had a meeting with some of the top bosses?
Yes, not the top bosses, with the convention. The
top bosses that
that's right.
Decision makers.
That's right. With the WBO.
Yes. And that's how it was approved.
Yes. So it was approved for us to have the eliminator.
Okay.
Between him and then the Mexican also over here.
Okay.
And
is it Javier Chacon or Cesar Juarez? Which of them?
I think Cesar Juarez.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was the last person whom he fought before the Magdaleno.
Oh, yes, yes.
So the president that then asked me. The president, coincidentally, was the manager of Azuma's world title victim.
Oh, okay. Is it the Australian?
No, the Puerto Rican. Azuma's first world title victory, the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, we check it to see. Wilfredo Gomez.
Yes.
Wilfredo Gomez. He was the manager of Wilfredo in those days.
Oh, okay.
So bond was established between the two of us.
I see.
All through, whereby I became the representative of WBO even in Africa in my time, long before. So this man asked me, Yofi, we've given you the nod, but can you promote it in I said, yes, we'll promote it in Ghana. Said, okay, these people weren't prepared to promote it, and it has to be promoted. So quickly, I phoned Isaac's father, told him the decision, and he accepted. So we had to start the ball rolling.
So that's how you brought the staff to Ghana.
That's right.
Yeah. So I just want to interrupt the conversation pretty quick. But how sad were you when Prophet Koti died?
In fact, I was very sad, but because here is a person who would have made a mark as a bantamweight, super bantam, more than a welterweight in the world, if he had comported himself in his choosing career
But you were managing him?
Yes. Managing him, and sometimes, not even sometimes, many a time. Mind you, managing a sportsman is even difficult than managing a company. One sportsman. So those who manage a team of 11 players plus
8 on the bench or 11 on the bench.
You can't just believe it. They became very dictatorial. Dictators. What you feel it's good for him, he wouldn't listen. Be listening from behind, and at the end of the day, messes up. And this is exactly what used to happen. Not only Alfred Cote, but most of these sportsmen.
So Alfred Cote, is it that his choice of life was something that really affected him?
Oh, that might be his private line of life. But then it's up to you, the manager, to advise him, guide him, and all that. And if you try your best and the sportsman decides not to, or doesn't listen to you, there is little you can do.
Which one advice did you give to him and he didn't take?
Well, one, managing his finances. He wouldn't take it. He wouldn't take it.
Why is his money? So.
Yes, that's why. Then he cannot. How can he manage his finances himself? His level of experience in life. A youngster, 1. Level of education, 2. Life, managing a family, 3. I Cote's children were with me. They stayed with me. I picked all of them and registered them at St. Anthony's Preparatory School. They were schooling under me, living under my roof. And that was where people saw even the change. Because when they were with their grandparents in Accra, it was completely different from when they came to stay with me. Because when they came to stay with me at Dansoman, when you come, he will be in a corner facing the wall. My spouse will shout, "Don't look back." When you talk to the children, they respond by, first of all, Ofane, that is, excuse me, you see, Inga, please, yes. They never knew this when they were in Accra. Now they are all grown, and they appreciate it, ever been with me.
Would you say the decision of Cote to leave Alfred Cote also affected him in one way or the other?
Oh yes. You see, that's why I've said earlier, the two of them, they inspire each other. When they get into the ring, they were like that in the national team as amateurs. They were together, traveling out of the country. Together, they went to the Olympics. It's Cote who lost his fight, but Alfred Cote ended the Olympics without any loss. But because of a nasty cut, he couldn't continue. He got to the championship zone all right, but he couldn't fight for a medal. So they inspired each other. And when they came from the Olympics, the government had wanted to, get them to the next Olympics.
How many boxers have passed through your hands? Can you remember? Those you've managed.
That's right. Very, very numerous. And
like approximately how many? 10, 20, 30, 40?
When we say boxers that have passed through my hands, both as manager, one as a promoter, the other as an advisor, numerous. Tondaye, Ramos Ajari, you have Ikote, Alfred Cote, you have Richard Comey, you have Isaac Dugbe. You have Brahma Kamoko, alias Bukom Banku. I'm the one who took Bukom Banku to the US.
Oh, really?
Yes, he was brought to me by an uncle with defect eyes. You see, he had the defected eyes, which was detected in the UK. So,
you took them to the US to be corrected or something?
No, his story is also different. He was banned from fighting in UK. And when Simon Block, who was then the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, realized that he's come under my management, phoned and told me the boy had a problem. So he narrated to me all that happened in UK. And just as I've said, boxing being a nasty distance, his management, not knowing where they lied to the outside authorities that they had sent him to
like a facility to have the eyes
to Germany, a German facility to have his eyes corrected. Not knowing, they read that the man had been sent to Akwitia. You know, we have a German facility there, German hospital there, and they are all mainly for the eyes. So he was sent there. But then they lied to the outsiders that he had been sent to Germany, and that when it's corrected, they could then bring him back
to come and fight.
It was then that the father approached me. Then I picked him up from Akwitia, sent him to Kolebu. Kolebu tested him, did everything. Then I started promoting him, got him to number 5 in the world as a light heavyweight. Got him to number 5. He was above all the American light heavyweights. He was above them. And he was then, going about in Bukom in short pants and, yelling that he was on top of all the Americans. Fine, ended up sending him to the US with a trainer. It was there that trouble also came up. And the manager sat behind his desk, was weeping. You can't believe it. He wept controllably when Banku failed the medicals. So it's just so disappointing.
This will be very, very demoralizing for you.
Yes.
But which boxer would you say has been your most prized asset as a boxing promoter and manager?
Can I say?
Is it Akote? Because you won the world title with him.
Yes, and Dugbe also won world title under me as as the technical director of the team. And the boxing aspect was purely my responsibility. Yes, and I would say with Dugbe it was collective. With Alfred Kote, it was solely me. So, but then the two wouldn't run equal.
Who is the best boxer you've ever managed?
Well, the best boxer I've ever managed is Alfred Kote. Yes, Alfred Kote was talented.
Wow.
Yes, talented more than Ike.
I see.
And talented even more than all the Ghanaian boxers. This is something which has to be,
to be told.
To be told, and then it's without any debate, because this is a guy who I can say got to be liked by Amaka Matefiu. After Amaka Matefiu, E.T. Mensah, the late E.T. Mensah. I happened to work with all of them from the sports ministry, plus other sports ministers.
Which boxer brought you the most money?
Rather, I would wish you ask my total contribution.
Exactly, I'm coming. That's what I'm asking.
Monetary. Because
so how much have you spent in boxing?
What man has spent in boxing on boxers could have, put up this chain of
like estates,
real estates, because it wasn't easy. A sole person managing boxers. No, it's always done by
team. So how much have you pumped into boxing?
Oh, that I can say my life savings.
So approximately $5 million, $10 million, approximately.
It's unmentionable. That's my.
You probably have data of your expenditures, isn't it?
Well, I had, but when you look at the figures and you get a headache. It's better you rather
not look at it.
Don't look at it at all. Forget about it, and then life goes on.
But do you think you've made money back from boxing?
Oh no, I would say lost, because I kept on from boxing, being an executive member of the board. Not only the board. I started. I brought in Moses Fuamoni.
To become president of Ghana Boxing Authority?
Yes, I brought him in. He's a member of my men's fellowship at the church. He's a son of a reverend minister, yes, Methodist reverend minister, who was with the army and died. And the mother all, came to like me. I invited him to take my position, to come and take my position with the boxing board.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But how come you never even contested to become Ghana Boxing Authority?
Oh no! At that time, it wasn't a contesting position.
But even after that, you could have still contested.
Oh, I tell you a story. During Papa Usan Kuma's tenure, Joagri. Yes. Happened to be the the deputy minister for sports.
Yes, I remember.
That's right. Yes. Joagri.
He was a former editor of graphic.
Yes, graphic sports. Yes. They all passed through my hands. Joagri, John Baden, who is in the US. Yes. Mention all of them. They've all worked with me. Plus the MP, Nilante van der Poel. Nilante van der Poel was my ring announcer. Can you believe that? And up to today, he calls me uncle. Uncle Yofi, this is it. So, Papa Usankuma and Joagri sent me a message. They were coming for me to be the president of Ghana Boxing. When they came, I had left to the US. I said, I don't like the position.
Why?
Oh. Look, it's very, very difficult to work with these Bukum chaps. Terrible. Can you believe it? There was a bottles this thing, pandemonium in Bukum Arena last 2 weekends.
Is that why you've never wanted to be Ghana Boxing Authority president?
Yes.
Or maybe you pride been behind the scenes as promoter and then be chopping the big money.
Well, you might be right in some aspect, but then because that was what was the saying between the top hierarchy in those days. They said, they were likening me to Don King. Don King was the promoter.
In fact, he's one of the likes of Joseph Akbeko.
That's right.
Who is now the Togo Kaletor.
That's right. Yeah. Don King was the promoter, and his son, Carl King, was the manager. You see, because in the US, it's against the law to be a promoter and to be a manager as well. Conflict of interest.
Okay.
This is being practiced in the UK and in Europe, but not in the US. As a promoter, you are a promoter. As a manager, you are a manager. So our past promoters, most of them, they're saying, oh, Yofi, okay, then let your son. It has happened that my son bears my full name because he's also Friday born just like me.
Okay.
And so my full name, Junior. They say, Yofi, you can let your son be the manager of the boys. and then you hold on as a promoter and a member of the Ghana Boxing Authority. I said, oh, no way. He said, oh, but Duncan does it. I said, if Duncan does it in the US, does it mean I also have to follow that principle here? No. So I never accepted it. When Papa Usankuma and Juagri wanted to make me the president of Ghana Boxing, said, oh, no. They said, oh, no. You have to assume that position. The long run, I left it.
And since then, you've never gone for it.
Yeah. Oh,
you've never gone for it. No. I have to come back to the question. Which boxer, in as much as you've pumped so much money into boxing, which boxer has brought you maybe just a little, let's say 1% of what you've spent?
Even the I would say Tondaye.
Wow.
Yes.
Not even after Kote, who won a
No. These boys, we rather spend for them.
Has it been worth it investing in boxing?
Oh, well, you see, I would say not materialistically, but in social aspect. Boxing has propelled me far beyond the shores of Ghana. Australia, I'm known there. Come to Europe, I'm known there. Go to US, I'm known there. And now even my name is behind a boxer, supporting the manager for the boxer to be engaged by a foreign promoter. So only the name.
You've made the name.
That's right.
But you've not made the
money.
The money.
Yes.
But do you feel you're celebrated enough as someone who is invested in this?
Oh yes, I do. I must say yes. I must say yes.
Wow.
I must say yes. I must say yes because you know, with Azuma, it's also the same. Having co-promoted his last fight with the Australians, that is with Fenech.
Yeah.
That's a novelty fight.
You co-promoted that?
Yes, I led the team. I think it's in the Google. We're wearing my pink suit. The contingent was led by me, and the whole fight was even arranged by me and one Maxon. We would have promoted the fight in Indonesia, but then we had to relocate it to Australia.
Your DNA is boxing. You've really sold Ghana to the world through the sport.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
What other thing have you not told me? What other thing have you not told me?
The loss of the world title by Isaac Dugbe. That's one of my painful stories in boxing, which I never forget.
What happened? You didn't play the politics at the highest level or what?
It's the father. The politics was all right, but the father, you know, is the person to be blamed. When Isaac won the world title, defended against the number 6.
Yeah, Hidonaro Otaki.
That's right. And I, the technical director, was the one, you know, who hold discussions with Top Rank, and then the matchmaker, who is the Australian, name forgotten. So after the winning of the Otaki was then the number 6. So he was on a mandatory, he was on a voluntary defense list at that time. Passed through Otaki Then the next defense was also, we were reminded.
Yes.
Otaki being number 6, the next defense, I picked the number 4. Now, why I picked the number 4, went on the drawing board, and the number 4 was from UK. Now, this UK guy was among the Commonwealth contenders when I had wanted Isaac to fight for a Commonwealth title.
Oh, okay.
They all refused to fight Isaac, all the Commonwealth contenders, which then includes the number 4. Now, at the World Championship stage, he will accept to fight because it's an opportunity for him.
Okay.
So, the father was then in UK. When Isaac won the world title, the father was here. Isaac here, father here, and then boasting, oh, he wants to buy a house in this compound. Said, how? After first world title, your son, let him rest a bit. Let him enjoy his money. Fine. So I phoned Paul. Said, Paul, okay, I've approached the number 4 contender, which I've forgotten his name, and then they have accepted. Then he said, oh, then we'll make a lot of money. I said, don't talk about money now. I had then approached the TV networks in Ghana. And you know, the relationship between Ghana and UK is so cordial that fine. When they buy the fight, revenue comes in.
Yeah.
So you don't talk about the money. Let them accept, get contracts signed, then everything becomes okay. He said okay. Then, there and then, Top Rank came out with their statement that they've signed on Isaac Dogbe. So the chaps came back, said, Yofi, if Top Rank has signed on Isaac Dogbe, then instead of promoting the fight in UK, they would like to fight under Top Rank in the US. So the opportunity gone. Said, oh, is that so? Okay. Then let me get back to the matchmaker. I've forgotten his name.
Is it Michael Tamura?
Michael Tamura.
Yeah.
So I went back to Mike. Paul said, oh, I should call Mike. When I called Mike, I said, oh, Yofi, we've already negotiated and we are fighting the top, the topmost. That's the word he used.
That's Emmanuel Navarrete.
Yes. He said, topmost. You're fighting the topmost. Why? The topmost happens to be the number 2 contender, because already the number 3, the number 1 is a mandatory challenger. So I took the particulars of this guy, and then his height, everything, just right here. Then I took a tape, measuring tape, and measured his height on the wall. Then, very technical, then that of Isaac. Then I realized Isaac was under his chin. I said, Paul, what's wrong? Who decided this? He said, oh, that is Michael. He said, oh, we've already negotiated. Do you know what goes on between him, Michael Tamura, and Navarrate's camp? This is how Michael Tamura sold.
Then why are you blaming Paul for it?
Paul, you being the father, he employed Michael Tamura and was listening to Michael Tamura instead of listening to me and then Dr. Agumenu and then his cousin.
The other people who were part of it.
That's right.
Is that the reason why Isaac Dogbe went away from his father?
Well, after he had lost the world title, all the finances also disappeared. all the earnings disappeared.
My final question for you is this one. Have there been a moment where you felt that, no, let me walk away from boxing because I've pumped so much money into boxing? And did your family ever fight you because of that?
Oh, well, it's, well, they all had to, you know, come to terms with it. They all had to come to terms with it because they realized that no amount of
talking could talk you out.
That's right, you see. Because from there, they found me in kickboxing. They got me into kickboxing where I've been the vice president for 8 years. And finally, being appointed as the Ghana's ambassador for kickboxing. Found me as executive member in the Ghana Boxing Authority under Peter Zwene's administration. And so, and all that. And most of the gyms too, I happen to be the advisor or spokesperson and all that for them. So
your CV is an incredible CV.
So with this, they realized that they should leave me alone.
You spoke passionately about Isaac Dugbe. Can he still win a world title? Is he still in position too?
Oh, with my experience, it's a no-go area for him. I don't think. Take his height into consideration.
But you saw the height and you still came in to advise him.
Oh, as a super, up to the super bantamweight level. Up to the super bantamweight class, he can still feature, but he has now jumped to featherweight. Featherweight, the experience that we had from with the Azuma's participation, we've come across a lot of featherweights, and Isaac Dugbe did not match them at all. Talk of DK Poison, who calls me commander. DK Poison, yes. He featured as a featherweight all along. Going in then for lightweight. In his time, there were no supers and all that. And it was difficult.
So would you advise Isaac to drop back to the...
And can he drop?
That's a challenge too. That's a challenge.
Yes.
Massive challenge.
That's right. So I've been a technical person. I tell you, that's the end of the road for him when talking about world championship.
How can we improve boxing in this country?
Well, boxing improvement from the word go has to start with the Catch Them Young.
Okay, the event they're currently doing, that's what they're doing right now.
That's right, which was much more an advice that I've been providing.
Okay.
The Catch Them Young. Even there are some parents who have their kids, a policeman, someone in Adabraka, they have their relatives' kids, maybe 7 years, 8 years. They say, oh, Mr. Buham, then I direct them to Jamestown to join them. So Catch Them Young, because that's what I found in Cuba.
Okay.
It's really interesting. In Cuba, you have the gyms handling these boys, and with the parents' consent. From school, they come to the gym, train. After the training, the coaches will line up the kids and deliver them their various houses.
Okay, that is actually something Ghana can do.
Yes. So, if you catch them young and they're going for corporate support, I think it will do us all good. And this is where I pray that you, the media,
come in
and then
help with the agenda.
That's right.
Yeah. Mr. Boham, thank you so much for your time. We are extremely grateful.
Thank you.
The man's with CV is an enviable one. Wow, what a CV he's got. It's been a pleasure speaking to him, sharing his knowledge with us, and telling us the story behind Mr. Yofi Boham getting into boxing, despite not being part of the factory for the production of boxers in this country, which is the Bukom, Jamestown, and all those areas. But his contribution to boxing in this country is one that that cannot be properly defined, because through his investment, he sold this country to the world, and he did that the sport of boxing, an area that he developed so much passion for, simply because his friend asked him to take charge of his gym. We appreciate your time. Continue to enjoy the programs here on the Joy News channel. I am Muftar Abdullah.
Ghana 4, my name is Benjamin Akapo. I welcome you back on the AM show as I share with you my blunt thoughts. I say them as they are. Some people don't like it. It is what it is. Because if you want to face the facts, the reality, you will see that what I say is nothing but the truth. And we need that truth. And today, I just got a bit, I wouldn't say sentimental, but it got me reflecting. As I share with you the title of my blunt thoughts, you will understand why I'll share with you a quote from the Bible. The title of my blunt thoughts today, An Ailing People and a Sickly Economy, the Cost of Misleadership. An ailing people and a sickly economy, the cost of misleadership. When I selected this title, it reminded me of that quote from the Bible, Matthew 7:9-11. You know what is said there? And I'm going to paraphrase this out of my head. It says, which one of you as parents will give your child a stone when they ask you for bread, or a snake when they ask you for fish? Which one of you? You tell me, as a parent, if your child asks you for bread, will you give them a stone, knowing probably it will break their teeth? And if they asked you for fish, would you give them a snake? So even we as humans, bad as we are, know what is good and we give it to our children. But how come when it comes to leadership, or should I say, qualifying it properly, misleadership, what we have in this country, it is always evil that is visited on the people. And I don't mind, throughout this Fourth Republic, tell me, which administration has really fared so well, anything close to even the standard we had set by the Osagefo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah? We have moved from bad to worse consistently. And it continues ad infinitum, unabated. Which is why this morning I also want to reflect on foolishness. Yes, foolishness. Albert Einstein says, a foolish faith in authority is the worst enemy of truth. If you have foolish faith in authority without thinking through what must be thought through, that is the worst enemy of truth. Again, we have Alice von Hildebrand who says, an old fool is the worst of all fools. Some of us have grown. We have lived through the hard times, but remain fools. And I say this respectfully because sometimes, in Ghana, we have such thin skin. We think when someone says you are being unwise about something, it's an insult. But you can be wise and still be unwise in a certain instance. It's like Peter. Oh, you are the Messiah. Who do you say I am? You are the Messiah. And then next minute he's saying, God forbid that should happen to you. Jesus would say to him, get behind me, Satan. We have been old fools, all of us. Because you know why? We keep making the same mistakes. That is why I talk about an ailing people, a sickly economy, because we choose the very worst to provide the very best. And you know what happens? It's like that computing term, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. What you put in is what you will get out. So why do we keep up like this? I start like this because election 2024 is just around the corner. And I am a bit frustrated because even if you look at the options, it doesn't make for very good reading, does it? Let us awaken. Let us think, people of Ghana. Because if you imagine This first bit I'm starting from today. Some politicians, like Samuel Mbura, my colleague on the political desk, was actually stating this morning, they have the dialysis machines in their house. They've stashed away enough wealth. They can afford to have it no matter the number of times in a week. Now, one way. How about you? You're suffering from diabetes, blood pressure, some heart disease, whatever the case may be. It's affecting your kidneys and you need it, but at what cost? And can you afford it? Are you thinking about that? Are you ruminating? Or are you just, maybe the MPP ka me fruma. Yeah, ye ka we fruma now we. Or, me dear, our family, we are NDC, we vote this way. Sir, do you use your conscience when you vote? We must contemplate those hard matters because where we are going as a country, like recently Professor Stephen Adey, like recently Dr. Ishmael Yamwa have said, if we are not careful, we're slowly going down that slope. And it may get to the point where your future and my future may not even exist. But let's come to the slides. This renal unit thing has become such a problem, and some of us are hammering on it because, like I said, today it is someone else. Tomorrow, it could be you. You look at the Ministry of Finance, which has now approved the disbursement of 4 million Ghana cedis to support our patients in Korle Bu. After how long? Over 5 months. And even when the directive was given, next slide, for it to be opened, it wasn't adhered to. Lives have been lost. Now, according to the health minister, Kwekwa Agyemang-Manu, dialysis should be included on the National Health Insurance Benefit Package. When did you arrive at this epiphany, Mr. Health Minister? At what point? I don't want to go back to the vaccine shortages and, child vaccine shortages, COVID-19 mess. When did you come to this realization? Why do we always have to wait till it is at the worst point before we react? We're so reactionary instead of proactive in this country. The lives that have been lost, our president said it during COVID. We know how to bring back the economy, even that we are not able to bring it back. But what we don't know how to do is bring back life. How do you bring back those lives? And it was because you failed on your job. Because Korle Bu and other places failed on their job. Because people couldn't afford the high cost of staying at private facilities. You slept on your job, sir. You did. And the deaths of those people, it falls on your head. Subsidies should be granted to Korle Bu based on proposals made. Review tariffs to ensure the sustainability of service to avoid the recurrence of the renal unit's closure. We are in this country. Ghana ni wayo. Mark my words. Watch and see whether at some point we don't get back to the same situation. This is Ghana for you. So funny. So funny. Next slide. Now, if you look at the whole closure bit, it's been 5 months since the closure. The hospital authorities blamed the closure on, guess what? The removal of tax and excise duty exemptions on medical consumables. This resulted in a debt that we've been grappling with, 4 million Ghana cedis. And guess what? About 19 renal patients have died. Died. How do we account for them? Next slide. Now, even as we move away from the health bit, you must note that, of course, the health crisis we're facing, whether it is the fleeing of health professionals from Ghana to other places to seek, greener pastures, or the renal department's problems, it all has to do with our ailing economy. And that's why I'm tying both of them, the strands together today. So another worrisome aspect of what is happening today is that we have failed to meet the requirements, the deadline, as far as our IMF deal is concerned. Getting the second tranche. By November the 1st, we should have put in place all mechanisms to meet the deadline. We haven't, and here is why. Here's a breakdown. If you look at the board approval of the extended credit facility, the amounts are all in millions of dollars. So you'll see that board approval for 600 million, which we've received. November the 1st, 2023, we're supposed to have the observance of end June 2023 performance criteria completion of the first review to receive the next tranche of 600 million. On May the 1st, 2024, then we'll get another 360 million on the back of those same observances. November the 1st, 2024, again, based on the June 2024 performance criteria, then we'll get 360 million. And then in May 2025, again, on the back of saying 360 million. But there are a few more. Let's go to the next slide. Let's go to the next slide, please. In October 2025, on the back of the same observances, another 360 million, and in April, another 360 million, giving you the sum of $3,000 million, which is basically $3 billion. Next slide. But what has been the tail of the tape? The staff level agreement of the first review, tick, we're good to go. But since then, we've had problems. And mind you, we've got to the point where we've spoken to the Paris Club, our Chinese creditors, hoping to arrive at some agreement, 30 to 40% agreement with them for a haircut. And that still remains in limbo. So the specific agreement with official creditors, that's a no, red card. Approval of the first review by the IMF board, that too is in limbo. We've had different dynamics hearing from, the information minister and others, but this is our reality. And this is where we are. And if we don't get our act together, we're not getting any money. Next slide. So does Ghana have the agreement yet? Oh, you can read it. The answer is a no. Absolute no. And especially entering this season, Christmas is approaching, prices will skyrocket. The dollar is already going up there. The pound is around 15 cedis. You know what this means. If we don't get those $600 million to shore up our economy, to stabilize the economy, if it comes to foreign currency, the inflows and the outflows, we're going to have a headache. In fact, a migraine. So we need that money because our economy is on life support. It's in the emergency ward and we need it. But we've not fulfilled the requirements. Like the Bible will say, you must fulfill all righteousness. We've not fulfilled all financial righteousness. We're in the lurch right now. Next slide. So in terms of the external debt restructuring, what Ghana wants is this, what you see here. 30 to 40% of a haircut for commercial creditors. Now, who would do this anyway? It's not the easiest thing to do. And this makes you lose your credibility. In fact, it's expected to restructure about $20.5 billion of our debt and grant debt service relief of about $10.5 billion. Next slide. Now, we also need to take stock in this final bit of the recommendations that we've been given from institutions like ISA. It has told us the 30 to 40% haircut on Eurobonds will drive down investor confidence, which will take a long time to restore. So as we do all of this, the consequences wait for us right down the road. Right down the road. We'll pay through the nose for the mistakes we have made. Ensure responsible borrowing. As for the borrowing, my mom is hustle. I give up. Until our belts were tightened to the point where everybody said, you know what, we are not giving you any more money. We were borrowing as though there were no tomorrow. You in your home. In fact, let me ask the politicians. The wanton borrowing we've engaged in, would we engage in that kind of borrowing for ourselves, for our families, to do this or that? We would have realized that no, our debt is getting to a point that is unsustainable, so we wouldn't do it. But because we treat the country like, oh, ɛyɛ aban sika, ɛyɛ aban deɛ, yɛmfa yɛnsa mbom, yɛnsa ne yɛnan ne yɛdidi, ne yɛfom. Ɛne yɛnnɛ. This is where we are. And that debt will be paid by us, our children, their children, and the children to come. That is what these misleaders have done to us. And finally, lessons from the painful domestic debt exchange program should inform our spending habits going into the 2024 elections. That's where I'll cap it off. Are we seeing that? The 4 million Ghana cedis for the renal department, it's 8 V8 vehicles. In some cases, 6 V8 vehicles. Priorities. We don't have them right. I come and stand here every Friday and do this to set the record straight and to let you know, in that order of preference, where we are focusing. Our country is in a dire situation. And if we don't do something, like I said, an old fool is the worst of fools. Let's awaken. All of us, I'm not excluding myself, all of us, let's shine our eyes, like Oyibo man will say, let's wake up. Because Ghana is going down. And if we don't do something, our motherland, the only land we have, will be gone. My name is Benjamin Akaku. These are my blunt thoughts for you, shared raw, hot, unedited, undiluted. God richly bless Ghana and make her great and strong. Welcome back on the AM show. Now, we get into our big stories, and number one, we're going to be contemplating the plight of our brothers and sisters. Following the spillage of the Akosombo Dam, many areas were submerged. Bator is one such area. Now, the Mankralo of Bator traditional area gave government a 2-week ultimatum to come up with a compensation and relocation plan, or else, what did they say? They would bus themselves to the Saglemi, affordable housing unit site. Now, as the deadline approaches this weekend, we're going to have an interaction with the Mankralo on the AM show today. He is Mankralo Heavy Boboji the 7th, Mankralo of Bator. He joins us on the show this morning. Good morning. Am I allowed to shake your hand? You have to be careful when royalty comes into the studio. It's good to have you. I mean, it's not a laughing matter, what we're about to discuss, but at least it's always good to start on a lighter note. To situate the conversation, are you just coming from Bator today? Did you? What is Bator like? When a few hours ago you left for our studios, what was the Bator you left behind?
Okay, Bator is doing well. The water now is going back.
Okay.
Everything is moving all right. Food items, everybody is getting his own. For now, we are not having the way the water is flowing now is down. Okay. So things are going down. Yes.
So the waters are receding and all of that, but the people in the community, how have they been living? How have they been getting by?
Yeah.
That is the question.
Okay. For now, the water is going back. We are all happy that the water is going back. But the problem now is that some few people have a block buildings. So the way they pack the people in a classroom and different families join together with their children in the classroom is the problem now. Because as the water is going back, some of them, they have mud buildings. And the water dissolves all of them. So,
wow, so the buildings have basically crumbled to dust.
For example, if you go to Bator, Siko, the whole village is gone because that place, a lot of mud buildings are there. And other areas, the same thing. When you go to Mepe, the same thing. But Mepe, they have a block work more than the mud buildings. So for now, our biggest problem is that our people that lose their buildings, where are they going? That's the question now.
Where have they been staying?
Yes. Now they are staying in the classroom. They do everything there. And the fact is that they are not comfortable. Now they are frustrated because their building is collapsed. Where are they going? And up to now, we are expecting the nation controllers to the presidency or the government to come out and say something so that the people can have something in their mind that, by tomorrow, by next week, by 1 month time, this thing is going to happen. But we are not hearing anything yet, though the NADMON and their people, they are doing very well to protect and make sure that the situation comes down. They are removing water from some areas that the water locked. But the question is that the people that their building collapse, where are they going? That's where we reach now.
So about how many people are we looking at?
Actually, the water affected almost 12,000 people. Yes.
I'm looking at just your community. Are you saying 12,000 within your locality?
That is the calculation the NADMON have given from Bator to Mepe.
Okay.
So now we are having 22 camps. And the Mepe camp is around 1,500 above. And Bator Agbetikpo is having almost 1,250. And the rest of the camp, they are having now 21 camps. Are you getting the picture?
Yeah.
So, if you go to the Bator Agbetikpo right now, you see old ladies, old men, they are all in one room. In fact, some of them, they are in old age and have a sickness. And they mingle all of them.
Wow.
And about a week now, I was there when Ajinasari wife, Mrs. Ajinasari, was there, and the son, present of them, some of the people are collapsing. We have to rush them to the hospital. The heat, they can't take it. So what I'm suggesting to the public is that we have Segleme House. When we are talking about Segleme, people didn't understand what is called Segleme. Segleme is a name where the government have affordable houses.
Right.
Now, because of the tension, and our children supposed to go back to school, they have to leave the classroom for the children because they are going to write the same examination.
Right.
So our people that especially they lose their building, they lose their everything, we must go there and see if we can use part of the building, not permanently.
Right.
To
because
enable,
people are still staying there.
Yes. To enable the government to do a very good resettlement for the people. Because we are talking about the resettlement because tomorrow we don't know what happened again. To return back so that we can free a place for VRA. VRA dam protect the whole Ghana or give light to the whole Ghana.
Right.
And the dam is supposed to be protected for the investors and the Ghanaians. Because without the VRA or dam, I think part of the nation will go off. So this thing is a Ghana issue. It's not about politics or individual. It's not about voter region. Because if the light is off today, maybe you two will not even get light. So we, the Votarians that are along the North Town area, were sacrificed to protect the nation revenue. You see, so the government...
And even prevent a bigger disaster. Because if the dam is breached all the way into the Greater Accra region, even towards the eastern region,
million people will died.
Yes.
So as we were used as a sacrifice lamb, the government have to come out, VRA, boldly, because it's a nation issue. This should not be a secret. So that they can tell the Ghanaians that, okay, that land, that area must be free for the future. When this thing is going to happen, VRA will not worry to open the water. Because if they did not protect the dam, what happened? So as we lose our properties, our everything, you just wake up one day before you see your everything is gone, we need a resettlement plan and compensation. So, as we are talking about Segleme, the buildings are there. The whole 12,000 people can get a place. But we cannot move the whole 12,000, especially the people that affected, everything dissolved. We have to take them there. So I can tell you that I go there myself to observe the way things going on there. You can see that Ghana, in some way, we have a problem. Assuming that a Ghanaian worker is ending around 4,000 at the end of the month, and at the end of the month, every day he's spending 100 Ghana cedis, evening and morning. At the 30 days, it's about 3,000. If he's having about 2 children and a daily fee, at the end of the day, he cannot buy cement, he cannot buy iron rod. But if you go to Segleme, go and see the buildings that lie down there, and the cockroaches and the spider and the snakes are patronizing inside. And gates that they fix before, when I was there, they have removed some of the gates, the windows, and the building was built for the people.
We'll get to Saglemi, because that's another conversation altogether.
Yes,
a whole new. But I'd like to find out. Yes. I don't know whether you were at the site when President Akufo-Addo visited the people of the Volta region.
Yeah.
Were you there?
Yes.
Okay.
I was around.
How did you feel about his comments and the reassurances that he gave? Because he mentioned that, listen, you are all part of Ghana, and I'm here because this calamity has befallen you and all of that. But as of this point, where, per what you're telling me, not much has been done, does that make you feel any less Ghanaian? Does that let you feel you are being marginalized in any way?
No. The reason why I say no is that somebody can stand and make a comment, but behind his mind, maybe there is a different thing. But normally, whatever come out from your mouth, that's what people takes.
Right.
But what I'm trying to say is that when a competition arises and someone come out as a winner, he is the one that chosen by the, let's use it, God. You see? So no matter what he says, the right thing must be done.
Okay.
As a Ghanaian.
Has the right thing been done to your people?
Not yet. The settlement is the right thing for us, and we didn't have it yet. Though the government supply food items, relief items to the people, but that's not the case now. Where are they going? That's the problem.
Are you saying that it is totally impossible, for example, if government provided mechanisms to get the people back, but in that same community, would that be an impossibility?
Yes. In the community, we have a land. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah have a land over there, which is belong to our great grandfathers. A very huge land, which is in the highland, a high place. Water cannot go there. That's a gay area. So what we are asking is that if the government would like to resettle our people within the community, we are okay.
What is that place called?
That is Aveime, cattle ranch.
Okay.
Yes.
Where the rice is.
Yes, exactly. And that land, if government want to use some parts, it's going to be just small because it's a vast land. It's a very vast land. And the whole community itself can go into that land about 5 times. And when we consider the buildings that affected, which is 1,000 plus, it means we just need government no need land to buy again.
So you're telling me that this is an alternative. If you're not going to take us to Saglemi, and we'll get to the Saglemi end of the conversation.
Yes.
Then, take us to Aveime and find a site there for us to relocate to. Have you been able to identify a specific spot?
We identify.
Have you made government aware of this?
No, but government knows that he have a property around.
So
because the DCE represent the president, so in the same area, so he know all this.
So are you now saying by this that it's an alternative, and you're putting it to the president and to that group that has been set up to get into all of this? You're putting it before them that if you're not going to take us to Saglemi, then Aveime is there, and ensure that you put mechanisms in place for us to be resettled?
Minister of Energy was there, I think 4 days ago.
Right.
We have the discussion, and then he take it very well, that you present that before the parliament about the resettlement, not about the Saglemi issue. So it means that already the information have gone over there.
Okay.
But what we are saying right now is that how the people will move from the place for the school children to get access to their school buildings and then learn. That's our problem right now. Yes.
So this side-by-side arrangement where you're using part of the classrooms for studies and part for living, basically, like some residential property. How is that turning out for the students, for example? How is that affecting them?
It's frustrating the children, because now the children mingle with the whole town in the compound. So they can't have a peace of mind to learn. They have to remove them from the classroom to the tree under. And the noise. So you can imagine what is happening there. They are not concentrated.
And
some of them lose their books and etc. Though the community, the DCE and the MP, they are trying their best to intervene with some of the books and donate. People who are donating also are trying their best, but the people are not comfortable. For example, your grandmother, your grandfather, and somebody and his wife, and somebody that's sick, all of them, they gather them in the one room. How do you feel?
True. It's quite a situation.
Yes.
Now let's look at the other angle. So now Aveyime, I think for the first time this is coming up, Aveyime is on the drawing board.
Yes.
It's an option.
Yes, it's an option.
But let's look at Saglemi.
Yeah.
The affordable housing unit. Have you been there in recent times? I mean, we've been there, and you would realize that it's a far cry from what it used to be.
Yes.
Doors no longer there.
Yes.
We've been told they've been stolen.
Yes.
Sometimes water closets.
Yes.
Electrical bits, wiring, and everything has been stolen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of things, I should say, have been pilfered.
Yes.
I had some George sit here in the studio and tell me about one day his team apprehending a group of people, supposedly including police officers. They were whisked to the police station. Wherever they were from, nothing was done. But you see, some things are missing.
Yeah.
Is this place fit for living for you and your people?
Yes. It's good because the building is okay. Right now, we just appeal for people to donate some of the things like door and water tanks and few electrical, because we are not going to use the whole building. It's only part. So within some few days, those things can be fixed back. And it will be comfortable for the people to live there. In that, to give them food, the relief items, you will see that it will not mingle with the people. Right now, if you go to where they come, the people, the other people also mingle with them when the time comes for them to share the food. And these things have tended to fight some of the camp. But as some of the people are returning back to their building inside, the people that were left, they are going to be few. So if government or anybody wanted to give relief item, you see that the whole building that they occupied, he knows the place. You just go and deliver to their doors. And they don't have any problem. They are not going to stay there for long to enable the government to do what exactly it's supposed to do.
Hold for me, Mankralo Heavy.
Yes.
Let me go over the phone lines as well and engage the chairman of the St. Kizito Safe Haven Committee, Amanate Dusi. He joins us via the phone lines for a conversation. Mr. Dusi, a very good morning to you.
Morning, and thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Under the circumstances, these are dire times, but we thank you for making the time to interact with us. Tell me, the St. Kizito Safe Haven, we've spoken about it time and again. How are you coping there? How many numbers are we looking at? What is the state this morning as you speak to us?
Thank you so much. And may I greet your cherished listeners and viewers. I'm very grateful to you once again. I would say St. Kizito Safe Haven, even though defined as safe, but it's not really safe for us this morning. The numbers as we speak right now is around 536 currently.
Okay.
Why? Previously we were over 1,000, but as the water started receding, people are moving. And more so, when the water was gushing in, a lot of people, due to fear, have to leave the town with their children. So the number currently reduced to this number that I just mentioned to you. But as the day breaks, we have people coming from outside to the camp. And so when you come this morning to the camp, you see a lot of people, more than even 700, 800, or up to 1,000 on campus. But not all of them are staying here during the night. So currently the number is 536.
I wanted to share with our viewers the exact location where this safe haven is.
Thank you. The St. Kizito Safe Haven is right when coming from Accra, you get to the town, you pass through Mankralo's area, and then you get to a junction, turning left. So coming from Accra, you turn right, you meet a signpost there. And then you take that route, you come, and then you come straight to the school. It's to the right side of the main road and then the main town. A little bit at the outskirts of the main town.
So
that is where it is.
Just to clarify, are some of Mankralo Heavy's people within the safe haven?
Pardon?
Mankralo Heavy, who is in the studio here, are some of his people from Bator in the safe haven?
Bator? No. Their Bators are not in this safe haven.
Okay, you mentioned passing through that route.
Who are here.
Okay, you mentioned passing through that route, so I felt some of them may have come there. These 536 people you are dealing with, how are you coping with them in terms of food, in terms of drink, in terms of sanitary situations, going through the processes that we all go through after having eaten, in terms of schooling for the young ones, in terms of health? What is the situation like?
It's quite difficult. Quite difficult. Very, very miserable. I will tell you that as we speak currently, the people on the camp, in terms of education, currently we have the volunteer teachers coming to teach our children. Thank this to our Honorable MP, who has called on people, and we got a lot of volunteer teachers who are teaching them. So as we speak, classes are currently going on. And in terms of food, it's becoming quite difficult. For some time now, we have not received food from NADMU office, the main assembly. But thanks to Kalau FM and few other FMs and TV stations, who sometimes visit us and present food items and then clothing to our people. And these clothing and items are shared per the list of households that we have and their numbers. We share the food items to them accordingly. And for health, that is one of the biggest challenges we have currently. We don't have dustbins on campus. It's not an environment where we have 500 people living, and dustbins are not there. Health will be the greatest problem. And as we speak, it's quite difficult. We have a lot of children who are roaming around and picking everything they set eyes on. It's becoming so difficult. So I've been appealing to corporate bodies that comes around that we need dustbins, we need sanitizers, we need sanitary pads for our ladies and our girls who are in the adolescence. It is quite difficult, even though we have a clinic currently on campus. But we still believe if we don't have a proper hygiene, we'll continue falling sick, and we'll continue visiting the clinic, and there'll be a lot of pressure on this very facility. As I said, there is always competition for food on the campus. As people from outside come to the campus every day to check whether there are food, even though foods are being shared in the town from house to house, but they still believe because Kizito is the internationally known safe havens in Mepe, and for that matter, perhaps Northton, food is just pouring here. So they come, the little they bring, people bounce on it and then share with the inmates here. And then also, because the people who are coming from outside to the campus, some of them really were not were not flooded, but as a result of fear and the DRA's sensitization that when the water starts coming, move to higher ground. A lot of people also move as a result of fear to Kisto campus. As the water started receding, we are asking them to go back to their houses since they were not flooded. The water did not take them, so that the few that will remain, the little food that will that they will bring here, they will also be able to manage it sufficiently for their use. So, my good people, this is the situation currently on St. Kizito Safe Haven.
Now tell me, in terms of where you yourself, where do you sleep? Yes. Where do you sleep?
I am sleeping at St. Kizito Biology Lab. This is the room I use currently with my family and children.
You use the biology lab as a sleeping place for you. How many children do you have?
I have 6 together with my wife and myself, 8.
So 8 of you are in this biology lab. How big,
Exactly.
just for the sake of creating a picture, how big is this biology lab?
Actually, it's big, but for the sake of the benches that are arranged in the lab, which are immovable, it's now not spacious at all. And if I may ask if I have a WhatsApp number, I would have forwarded our sleeping pictures and other very important pictures to you. If you can aid, you see how it looks like. I've forgotten one important thing. Most of the people at this camp are not having mattresses. Mattresses were brought, but they were not enough. Only 83 were shared. And so we have...
So basically you're trying to say over...
463 who still did not have mattresses.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
Including myself, that is... Now personally, I took my mattress before the water came. I took my belongings, except my housewares, electronic gadgets and stools. That one, as a disabled, you can't work on it. So we have to leave them there and run away for our lives. And so that one I couldn't pick. So me, I have a mattress. But my children, their mattresses are in water. Everything's spoiled. And so I asked for mattress. I've not been given. I asked for the camp. And they still have not supplied yet. So that is the situation currently. People are sleeping on the floor. There, you lay their cloth, and then they are sleeping on it. You can imagine.
And that exposes, exactly, that exposes everyone to the likes of pneumonia. You could contract it from the bare floor and all of that. But just to wrap with you, I just want to run these needs by you.
Okay.
So you're a person with disability.
Yes, yes.
And running this entire, show as chairman and all of that, is this taking some sort of toll on you? How have you managed?
Oh, I think I've been in this situation for some time. And as a teacher, I'm used to crowds. I'm used to that. And I believe disability is not inability.
Great.
For that matter, I even do more than the able ones. And I'm ready to move, whether raining or shining, over here to make sure my people at the camp are safe. If they are not safe, I'm also not safe. And so I strongly believe that as for the challenges that I'm going through, I don't see it as challenge. It's there, but I don't see it. And I won't share it. The only thing is to make sure my people are safe.
Right.
As a chairman.
Right. I only brought it up because you snuck that in that line right before you spoke about, and I was wondering about what challenges you possibly are facing. But it is exciting to see how you've taken the mantle and you're doing this looking at your people. I hear some MPs have got food. I don't know which catchment area or under which constituency the camp falls, but I hear some members of parliament have got food and other items to distribute, but sometimes they don't give all of them because some people may just waste them, or if you give all of them, then in the next few days the people come again. So they are holding it and releasing it bit by bit. Can you confirm whether that is true? And also add, what are your greatest needs right now? Reiterate before you go.
Thank you. I would say it is true. My Honorable MP, Northton, Honorable Samoku Yetua Blakwa, received a lot of food items from corporate organizations, individuals, and as I speak, he even confirmed to some city stations that he has food items that he's sharing, but he's not in a rush to share all because we don't know how the situations will be in the near future or within the next 3 weeks going. And so he decided to keep few, and as the weeks go by, he'll be sharing from time to time. And it's true, he's doing that. He's doing that. He even was on my campus, my safe haven, to donate book items, school materials, bags, shoes, pen, pencils, and other valuable items to my children, my students who are here, or people who are here. And so I can confirm that that is true.
Okay.
The immediate items that we need is mattress.
All right. So the immediate item you need is what? A mattress or mattresses?
Mattresses for my people.
You need 453, right?
53 mattresses.
453.
Exactly, 453 mattresses. 83 was checked. We have 536.
All right.
83 mattresses were shared.
Amanete Dusi, we're grateful that you joined us this
grateful
morning. And thank you so much for the good work you're doing for God and country. He's chairman of the St. Kizito Safe Haven Committee. If you are in the position to donate even up to about 500 mattresses, they need your help. And that's why I wanted us to reiterate. They need 453 of them. But let me come back into the studio to Mankralo Heavy Boboji the 7th. Abeyime Saglemi. Now we have two options.
Yes.
Between these two, which would be your first option?
My first option would be Saglemi. Because if the government choose to do something, it cannot finish one day.
Right.
Yes. But the people have to be...
So Saglemi is already there?
Yes, already there. You know, let me use this opportunity to say this. We as a human, sometimes we are not faithful in some areas. We have to thank Ghanaians for what they have done for us when it comes to food item. A lot of people have given food. But you know, this mattress issue, I was there to investigate some of them. You know, when they send the mattress like this, and they lay down the mattress, and they see that visitors are coming, before you get to the room, people remove all the mattress.
Really?
Yes. You will not even see one in the room.
Why? Because they want more?
And I don't know why it happened. That's why I was thinking that when the people were camped in government premises or somewhere, they counted the rooms, they donated whatever they donated to them. I was there, 120-something mattress was given by Okujeto Ablakwa to the people. Following day, when another visitors are come, when we enter into room, all is not there.
What happened?
And they lay down their the cloths. You know, when people...
So you're saying that some people
this is what
are not being honest with all of this?
Thank you. This is what I see myself, not that somebody say it. I was there and I take somebody, there are 4 people in another house. They are not in the camp, but truly what I've taken their houses.
Right.
I give the 25 kilo, 111,
rice.
Yes, rice. They are in one place, brothers and sisters. So that 4 is 4 bags, which is 25 kilo. Following day, when we give them that 4, we give oil, we give other things. Following day, when the camera people, the news people came, they are the first people that stand before the camera saying that since this thing happened, they never get any food relief. You know, what happened in this water issue, I've identified that Ghana love each other. Everybody is donating. We have to appreciate it. But if we are not appreciating it, people may think Ghanaians did not love each other. Some of them, they are tired of even the rice. Rice is there, they are sharing it, and Ablakwa go around himself and the DCE to share the food. My brother, 100 and something mattress. When following day we go there, they lay down their cloths.
So this is quite a different dimension to the conversation, because then it paints the picture that some people too are taking advantage of the situation.
Yes, that's correct. Let's say the truth. We shouldn't say because this thing happened to us, so we should say anything anyhow. We should identify what the individual people. I was there when the energy minister came. He brought a lot of food to the district.
Dr. Matthew Opoku.
Yes, he brought a lot with solar items, different kind of things. But the truth is that the management of these items cannot just go and dump all at a go. With water, everybody in the community need it because the water body is not good for us to use. But the food, my brother, they are sharing it. Present of you see people receiving, they'll put it down and run come, take another one, and run come and take another one.
So there's a bit of dishonesty and greed in there from some people.
Some of the people are not faithful.
Okay,
me as a chief, I have to say the truth.
All right.
Yes.
Let's and I love the fact that you've exposed that at the end.
Yes, because this one I saw it myself.
To us.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
2 things I want you to do in about 1 minute so we can wrap.
Yes.
1, you say you want compensation.
Yes.
Compensating the entire community. How much? Do you have an idea of what you're looking at? And finally, you've also threatened that if by this weekend, I think it's Sunday, the 2-week ultimatum will be done.
Yes.
And if no action is taken,
yes,
you will bus your people to Saglemi.
Yes.
You know that could result in some security situation.
Yes.
You could be stopped. You can't just go and enter Saglemi.
Yes.
What do you make of these two situations? Compensation and then moving to Saglemi.
Compensation, no matter what, we need it. Because we sacrifice ourselves to the nation.
Do you have an idea how much will...
I can't say that now. But NADMON is around doing everything. So resettlement is to resettle our houses and damage that they cause us.
Property?
Yes, properties. Not everybody that loses his property. But NADMON will take the calculation of that. But the Saglemi, right now as I'm talking to you, some people even donated bus down to move the people. But when the energy minister came, he promised that he will send all these informations about the resettlement and the compensating issues to the parliament. So we are waiting to hear something from the government.
Okay.
Actually, myself, they notified me that government is having some plan for the situation, which we are waiting to see how it will come. I cannot just come out and announce what they have in their mind.
Okay. So on the bit of moving to Saglemi, yes, will you still do that come Sunday?
Not Sunday, because we hear something.
What did you hear?
What we hear is that the energy minister let us know that he will, our niece, he will send the information to the parliament to discuss. For the respect, we have to wait a little to see how it will come. But the Saglemi, we are going to move there definitely.
You're going to move there?
Yes, we are going to move.
When do you plan?
I will not give it to you for now, but we are preparing to go.
This week, next week?
I don't know yet.
No, you can't. You don't have to give us a specific day. But what's the plan? So it's not happening this weekend.
Yes, it's not happening this weekend. No.
But next week. But if you don't get something from,
yes, we have to move. We have to move because it's the government property, and I know that the security, whatever. But I believe that we have a good leader for this nation. We will not choose cockroach and leave human being. We are not owning the building. We just to park the people there so that they can have their freedom.
But you can't go there without the permission.
Yes, we work on it.
It is still state property. You can't go in. It's like maybe an ECG transformer area.
That is the reason why
taking it over. You can't do that.
That is the reason why we have to take some steps before that time.
What steps?
Yes, to consult.
Consult whom?
The authorities. We are working on it underground to see what will come out. We know that the place is under is under government. We know. So some people have to be connected. Yes, but not everything that we put on the public. Yes, but so, I think that that would be the best for the government.
Just to finalize everything. So you mean to move the entire community from
not the entire community, the people who their buildings are dissolved.
Okay.
Yes.
So what number are we looking at?
We are looking at maybe around 400 that way.
Around 400?
Yes, because when you go to Siko, the whole entire village is dissolved. But maybe if government may do some magic, we don't know. If that happens, fine. Maybe tomorrow government will say, I'm bringing the containers, the shooting containers, the folding ones, is bringing maybe 2,000 for the people to go inside. We don't know yet. So I'm giving the chance to the energy minister what we discussed about the resettlement plans that he wanted to present it before the parliament. Let's see what comes within the week.
The energy minister is working on it, and this will finally be the final bit.
Yes.
I'm giving you the opportunity to address Mr. President.
Yeah.
In the end, what he says carries the greatest weight in this country. In some 20, 30 seconds, what will be your message to the president on behalf of your people? That's how we'll wrap it up.
What I wanted to say to my loved president is that when critical conditions like this, some of the jokes, people doesn't take it as he think, like, I see you, you know that you didn't vote for me. I think that's not the time for that word. But I'm trying to say that as he's the father for the whole nation, he should come out to say something to our people to know that they have a father and he's thinking about them. Also to use the opportunity to thank the whole Ghana that they have shown a lot of concern about this situation, especially the TV stations, the media. They all organized to the place. in fact, if not Ghanaians to vote their time to do that, I don't know what happened, because government supply foods is very few, not huge. The individuals ones are very huge. So it means that the dam, everybody is thinking about it. Mr. President should do anything enemies to prove to the votarians that he loves them than what people think.
All right. Mankralo Heavy Boboji the 7th, we're grateful. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me in the studio. And our hearts are with you and your people and all those areas that have been affected, not just in the Volta region, spreading to other regions, even coming towards the Greater Accra region. And we'll continue to do our bit, exposing what is happening and ensuring that attention remains here.
Yeah, but you know that the other regions, because the VRA could not be able to open much, that's why it affected them. But if this area is free, it means that VRA can open more.
Right.
From Afram Place, Germany areas will not have any problem again. But because they are afraid of here, if they open all, it will affect death.
Right.
Yeah, that's why they were affected.
Right.
But if here is free, we will not have this problem in the country.
Indeed, the VRA, opening 2 of those spillage points at a go. But we were joined in the studio, outside of the studio, we had the chairman of the St. Kizito Safe Haven Committee, Amanete Dusi, joining the conversation. But in the studio, we had Mankralo Heavy Boboji the 7th, the Mankralo of Bator. And this is the state of affairs. This is how far they have come. Do stay with us on the AM show. There's a lot more coming your way. Up next, we'll be right back. Welcome back on the AM show, and we host now EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Of course, you know that whenever we come your way with a Habitat Fair, it is EcoBank partnering us, so we can bring this to you. In the 14th edition, they still remain with us. Well, joining us from that bank, we have Head Advantage Banking, EcoBank PLC, Winston Wobil. We've interacted with him in the past. He's back in the studio. We also have Gary Frimpong Ama, Head Agency Banking at EcoBank PLC. Gary, Winston, good morning.
Good morning, Ben.
You know, the interesting thing, over here, we have a certain Gary Al Smith and we have a certain Winston Amwa. So it's like interviewing my colleagues on the show because both of you decided to take names of people I work with. That's interesting.
Yeah, but they are already great people. And to have the name as Winston and Gary, you're already great.
Sir?
Yeah, so you have very good staff working.
Yeah, bringing some swag into this. But EcoBank is partnering us for the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fair. I just want to do this. Let's go down memory lane a bit. Over the past few years, leading up to now, I mean, you've done this. The question, someone will be asking, what's your stake in all of this? I'll start with you, Winston.
Okay, thanks. So you rightly said, yes, over the past years we've been doing this. This will be actually our 4th year doing this. And
4 years running.
Yes.
4 years running.
Yes. So it goes to tell you that we appreciate the partnership in bringing value to our customers. And also, it's not just business, it's also a social service to educate the public on mortgages, on financing. And it's
available options.
Available options. And this has been very good for us because it affords us the opportunity to go beyond even just our customers, because our customers have access to this. But for the general public, it's very important that everybody understands and is able to make an informed decision when it comes to housing and home ownership.
Okay. You know, if EcoBank, big as it is coming on board like this, then permit me to sing, Ahayedo. It means something good is happening here. Gary?
Okay, Ben, yes, something really good is happening. For us, as to add to what Winston said, I just read an article from the Ghana Statistical Service that says that the Ghana housing deficit
the deficit
has reduced from 2.8 million to 1.8, which is a 33% reduction. Right. But then they say in that same report that they don't think it's mainly government interventions by the private sector, which is something that we have partnered and been helping out to make this a success in the last 4 years.
You can take part of the credit for that.
Exactly. And then we will say thank you to Joy News for making this available and affording us this opportunity to have this partnership. For us, we are very glad to bring it again to our cherished customers as well as your cherished listeners. The 2023 Habitat Fair is being partnered once again between EcoBank and Joy News. We as EcoBank this year are focusing on the finance options. And then there are a lot of finance options available. We are not just focusing everything on just mortgage, but then if you need financing through mortgaging, we are available. If you need financing to purchase home appliances, furniture, to build your dream home, or a personal loan to do something personal on the building that is not stated, we are really available. In simple terms, EcoBank has a financial option for every single thing you need to do in your home or in the dream home that you.
In other words, if someone is even thinking, I want that dream kitchen with all the fittings, you can come. EcoBank will sort you out. Oh, I want furniture for everything from the master bedroom to the hall. You can come to EcoBank and we'll sort you out.
Perfect. Even with building materials, to start with, you already have a land, you want to get some building materials that you want to pay over time. We have an option we call the buy now, pay later at a discounted interest rate also for you. You are able to do that in order to get your dream home started.
Winston, now, you know, with everything that is happening, the rates that are given from the central bank to the banks and taking loans or mortgages, people feel, Charlie, it's going to cost an arm and a leg. How affordable is it for people who come to EcoBank? Because I know that every bank has its own level of, dealing with this. How affordable is it from EcoBank? What are the packages you have for people who come?
Yes, so as Gary rightly said, yes, there are various options when it comes to home ownership.
Right.
And as you said, in each of the times where we find ourselves, what we do is to take our customers through to find the best option that suits them. Yes, it's not a one size fits all for all. So there are various options, and as you said, it's very affordable. Gary mentioned there are several ways you can do it. You can do it yourself, do it in stages so that the financial burden is not too much based on how much you earn. You also have the option of going full blast. Some people will say, okay, for year one, I want to concentrate on fixing my kitchen. Year two, maybe I want to look at my living room. So, and when it comes to such options, we have, as you said, our buy now, pay later options that gives you access to short-term financing. And then the good thing is that we have partners. So you're actually getting these items at very good discount rates from what you get even in the shops. And it's one of the surprises we have at the fair this year. We want people to pass through. We are bringing lots of our partners there. And as you know, a lot of our partners and a lot of the exhibitors there are partners for EcoBank already. So you can be sure that whatever item you pick there, you are getting the very good best rates on
Okay, so as he's saying, we can't elaborate everything here, but if you should go through all our services and products, you could see that from the first time we did it till now, we've been trying to take feedback from what happened in the previous.
So you're learning.
And then we learn and then we tailor to try and meet all the various segments of customer needs.
Right.
So all you need is to just walk in, come to us, find the EcoBank table, tell us what the options are for you on the table. We also tell you what is available, and then we can help you tailor to meet whatever need.
Give me a fair idea. Let's say, people are out there and they are contemplating, should I come? Do I qualify? Let's say I earn 2,500 cedis a month. I earn 3,000 cedis. I'm trying to start up something. Just give us a little breakdown. What can such people do in terms of getting any packages from
Okay,
EcoBank?
so for me, as long as you earn a salary, you have somewhere to start with, right? What you need to do is based on the salary that you earn, you look at what you can do.
Right.
Somebody may earn 2,500, but they'll be looking at buying a house in East Airport,
right,
which we all understand. But we know by 2,500, you may have the opportunity to even buy a less expensive house in some other areas. There are these government housings that are also coming up that have apartments in place and everything. So with the kind of salary that you earn, when you come in, we are able to tailor and tell you that, you know what, you can start at this stage, pay up to this level, then we go to another stage, pay up to another level, and then we find mortgage partners that can actually help you. If it is the tenor that will take that long, you still have at least your own house to live in rather than be paying rent to a landlord.
And there are packages now where people are, paying for up to 15 years, 20 years, 25 years. So it makes sense to invest this way. Have your peace of mind, and then
Perfect.
over time, you can spread it out.
Yeah, perfect. Then you should be selling mortgages. I think you understand a lot more. And yeah, even breaking it down further for our customers, and we are grateful for that.
I'll come and see you guys. I'll come and see you in Chambers. But let's now talk about D-Day from the 23rd to the 26th of this month. The Accra International Conference Center. You're going to be there in full force. What can our viewers expect as they come there and actually come to your stand? What can they look forward to? I'll start with you, Winston.
Okay, so what we would do this year, and as we've been doing in the previous years, is we actually bring in the bank to the conference center.
Right.
We understand sometimes it's difficult, maybe working hours, people don't have the time to pass through the bank. But there's an opportunity to have fun, see what's going on there, and also make very informed decisions. And as we said, there are surprises there as well.
Okay.
Pass through if you want to check on your account, you want to find out how much you can take for a mortgage, how much you can take.
You want to be a customer for the bank.
You want to open an account, you want to open an account for your kids, you have an inquiry, that's service issue you'd always wanted to.
Anything and everything.
Anything bank.
Just pass through. You'll be sorted out.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Gary?
And then the bank gets to close. Usually we close at 4, but this one we are there till 6.
Yeah.
So imagine the bank gets to close at 6 for you.
You can just pass through.
Exactly.
You've even given me an idea.
Yes.
Okay.
Gary, you have the final word.
For me, I think we've said a lot. We've explained a few things. And then for those that came through the road shows, which was at the Achimota Retail Center, the West Hills Mall,
Tema.
and then the Tema Municipal Assembly. For those that came through, they know what to expect when they come to the Grand One. For those that couldn't make it throughout those ones, they could still come in and then find out what is available for them in their space. All we are asking is for you to show up, as Winston said, come in, ask any simple question you want to ask. And then I'd like to add this. For our personal loans, for individuals that have salaries coming through us, right? You have the option to come in and then inquire about whatever facilities that you want to access. For businesses or HR heads that are listening to us now, that are looking to have a package for their staff as a whole, we also have something we can have with you. So for those business owners and then HR heads, which because of times the companies cannot give that convenience or leverage to their staff, they can come in and negotiate with the bank, and then we also find something to give to them as a body. So I think there's a lot more to be discussed when you come through. It's just that we don't have the time to say everything on there. But then thank you, Ben, for making this possible.
Gary, Winston, thank you so much. I guess from Joy News and EcoBank, I'll repeat it. Ahayedo. An all-male choir telling you that there's sweetness here. So come to the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fair, 23rd to the 26th of this month, and you get those juicy packages from EcoBank. They'll have you sorted out, like everything, done deal. Those who joined us, Winston Wobil, Head Advantage Banking, EcoBank PLC, and Gary Frimpong Ama, Head Agency Banking, EcoBank PLC. Now, coming up next on the AM show, we're going to be interacting with some cardiologists from the Tamale Teaching Hospital and Columbus, Ohio in the United States of America, who have performed 3 successful pacemaker insertion surgeries at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. I'm talking about the heart. Now, the historic surgery, as we know, is a partnership between the Tamale Teaching Hospital and Arrhythmia Alliance Pace for Life. We'll be bringing you that conversation right up next on the AM show. Do stay. Welcome back on the AM show. Now, your heart is essential to your well-being. Without it, you will be dead. You wouldn't be here. And that's why it is crucial, this latest development, the partnering of the Tamale Teaching Hospital and Arrhythmia Alliance Pace for Life. They've brought to bear some groundbreaking medical stuff. And today we have, to tell us all about it, Dr. Kamel Ado. He's a cardiac, I have to take my time here, electrophysiologist. Okay, it wasn't so bad. He's from Columbus, Ohio, and he joins us for this conversation. When I say from, it doesn't mean he's necessarily from there. I'm sure you can tell from the name. But Dr. Ado, thank you so much for joining the conversation.
Well, thank you, Benjamin. It's my pleasure to join in this conversation.
Now, we know that a team of cardiologists from Columbus in Ohio brought this to bear, partnering with the Tamale Teaching Hospital. How did all of this come about?
Well, I want to start by first saying that in Ghana currently, we have some excellent doctors who implant pacemakers. They are concentrated mostly in Accra and then also in Kumasi. So these services are actually quite available. However, it's expensive to have a pacemaker implanted, and so it's not, while the service is available, it's not readily affordable to a lot of people.
Right.
Then the other issue is that in the whole swath of the northern part of Ghana, there is, up until now, has not been availability of this service at all.
Like completely absent in the northern belt of the country?
That's right.
Up until this point?
Yes.
Wow. And that's why it is indeed groundbreaking. But what got your attention to this? For which reason your team of doctors collaborated with the Tamale Teaching Hospital to come down here and perform these 3 surgeries?
So in the last year, there has been cardiology services available in the north, based at Tamale Teaching Hospital. And we have 2 excellent cardiologists, Dr. Jifa Haji and Dr. Saburu Yakubu. So they, in the past year, have been doing their best to get a cardiology program going.
Okay.
And this effort started out as a networking meeting between Dr. Yakubu and one of the folks from Pace for Life. And it started a conversation that expanded to a point where we started exploring the possibility of starting this service, a pacemaker service at Tamale Teaching Hospital. So it took a lot of collaboration between many partners. So primarily Arrhythmia Alliance Pace for Life. There is also another organization from the so Arrhythmia Alliance Pace for Life is based in the UK, but there's also another organization in the US called My Heart, Your Heart. Now they refurbish pacemakers and make them available for implant for free.
Okay.
So it was a collaboration between them. How we came in from the team from Columbus is that also during networking, we discussed, and I was asked if I would be able to put together a team to travel to Tamale to start this pacemaker program in collaboration with the folks at Tamale Teaching Hospital.
All right.
And that's how it came to be.
So to ensure that we are not speaking over the heads of some of our viewers, just to ensure that we situate the conversation properly, what is a pacemaker? What does it do?
So a pacemaker is an electronic device. It's a really small electronic device that is implanted by cardiologists or cardiac surgeons under the skin. It's usually below the left shoulder or below the right shoulder, but it connects to the heart using wires.
It connects to the heart using
yes.
wires. Okay.
So, and these wires are called leads. They travel through veins and go into the heart, and they are attached to the heart muscle. And from there, what they do is they look out for missing heartbeats. So they're primarily for people who have heart rates that are too slow to enable them to be able to function properly. it causes these patients to have symptoms like dizziness, lightheadedness, passing out, and just low energy levels, sometimes shortness of breath. So when these are recognized and attributed to slow heart rates, then implanting a pacemaker relieves all these symptoms and allows them to live just a better life.
The quality of life, you know, is enhanced.
Yes.
Practically close to normalcy or normalcy, basically. And in terms of the relevance of this surgery, just how expensive is it? Ordinarily, if you were getting a pacemaker inserted, about how much, could you give us a ballpark figure?
What I've heard so far is that it probably is upwards of about $10,000.
Upwards of $10,000. That means in Ghana cedis, you'll be looking at upwards of 120,000 cedis, not to talk of maybe aftercare, medication, and all of that. So that would be quite a lot for an ordinary Joe in Ghana, which is why it's so relevant that you performed these 3 surgeries. But how did you target those 3? How did it go about that?
So this particular effort through Arrhythmia Alliance Pace for Life is actually designed to put together teams of cardiologists and nurses and device specialists who go out to places. And the real goal is to implant these devices for free for people who cannot afford to finance a pacemaker implant.
And I know that there's also a plan to teach, to train others so that they can also take up the mantle. What's the approach you're using?
So I'm glad you bring this up because the approach is not really for folks from from outside the country to just come in and implant these devices and then leave and then come again. The real goal is to transfer skills to the local doctors and local practitioners here and the entire team that's here. So what we did is that we identified the doctors here in Ghana and then also the rest of the team that would be involved in implanting the pacemakers here. And then we matched them with teams of folks who are very well versed in the various aspects of running a program like that. So we brought together that team from the U.S., in this case from Columbus, Ohio, and then collaborated with a team here at Tamale Teaching Hospital to really work on transferring these skills and starting the program. The end goal, our goal is that sometime in the near future, that Tamale Teaching Hospital staff will be able to implant these pacemakers by themselves without any outside help.
That's interesting, meaning moving forward, there is a plan. It's sort of training of trainer situation.
Exactly.
But do you plan on coming back, at least for the next few years, to assist in this process? Is there a plan?
Yes, we plan on, at the current time, the 2 cardiologists over there in Tamale are not ready to implant these devices by themselves. So we will continue to support them, bring in teams every time we have sort of a week to implant devices. We'll bring teams from outside with a skill set to continue with that knowledge transfer. And so there will be a series of these things along the way until such time that they feel comfortable, that they have acquired enough skills to be able to continue to
do them on their
own.
Right.
Yes.
Any final words, Dr. Ado?
Well, I'd like to really acknowledge...
I was hoping you would do that. Any people who are supported in this?
Yes. First and foremost is a team from Tamale. We have been so impressed with them. It's actually a team that's used to doing orthopedic surgery.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, so we started this program in an orthopedic surgery theater using the orthopedic surgery team team over there. And they perform marvelously, and we have been very impressed, and we really our hearts out to them, and we're very grateful for their support in this endeavor. So I'd like to acknowledge them. Secondly, the team from Columbus, Ohio. This is a great team of 5 of us, but they were nurses and what we call radiation technicians and then device specialists that volunteered their time to make this trip and to make this happen. And then lastly, Arrhythmia Alliance Pace for Life and My Heart, Your Heart, the organizations that were involved in providing the pacemakers and also funding this trip to actually make the entire process and the cost free for these 3 patients that were implanted. And then of course I can't end without acknowledging my good friend Dr. Smart Gavwa, who's a general surgeon at Nyaho Clinic. He really came along with us, and being somebody who's on the ground in Ghana, he was in charge of the logistics of the day-to-day running of the place and enable this to be a success.
Well, Dr. Ado, we pray for the very best for you, your team in Columbus, Ohio, the Tamale Teaching Hospital team, and moving forward, the many lives that you keep touching. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the work you do.
Program.
Just stay with us. So Dr. Kamel Ado is a cardiac electrophysiologist in Columbus, Ohio, and they partnered the Tamale Teaching Hospital, of course, Arrhythmia Alliance, Peace for Life, among others, to bring this to bear for those with heart conditions. Well, that is how we cap off the show this morning for this Friday morning, but we'll leave you with our interaction, okay, with the University of Education Winnipeg's Media Journalism School. They had some wonderful bits to share with us, which we share with you now as we cap off the AM show. God willing, on Monday, well, the crew will be here as always to serve you. And right after this, of course, we have Joy News Desk. Thank you for watching. Hello, thank you for joining us on this network, Joy News, and it's quite a conversation we have lined up for you. Education is crucial, and of course, quality tertiary education is crucial to our national life, and that is why today we have a conversation with some stalwarts from the University of Education Winnipeg. I'm talking about the School of Communication Studies, Communication and Media Studies, and our 2 guests joining us, we have Professor Christiana Hammond. She is Head Department of Communication Instruction, together with Dr. Mavis Amomenta, Head Department of Strategic Communication. Both of them join us for this conversation. Prof, Doc, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having us.
I love the beautiful smiles. But even before we situate the conversation and find out about your school and everything that's happening, what's new at the University of Education Winnipeg? There have been some interesting shake-ups, dynamics there. I'll start with you, Prof.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. The University of Education Winnipeg has just ushered in a new Vice Chancellor in the person of Professor Jobson Mishwa.
I think we should go whoo-hoo to that. And anything else you would like to add?
The University of Education Winnipeg is blossoming. We are moving from progress to progress, and we are committed to delivering quality tertiary education. So as she rightly said, we have a new Vice Chancellor, and so we are happy to have our Vice Chancellor.
All right, so let's get down to why we're really here. The School of Communication and Media Studies at your university. There's a lot going on, but I want a quick breakdown. Okay. Your departments. There are 4 departments.
There are 4 departments.
Tell us about them.
Okay, so we have 4 departments, as you rightly said. We have the Department of Strategic Communication, Department of Communication Instruction, Department of Development Communication, and the Department of Journalism and Media Studies.
That's a lot of communication. What are the differences? If I asked you briefly, what separates them? What differentiates?
Okay,
Prof,
so
maybe I'll let Prof.
Right. So the separation is in terms of the focus or the career progression of the students. Okay. And so if you are a product of the Department of Strategic Communication, then you are interested in corporate communication, public relations, advertising, and the others. If you are interested in journalism and media studies, then
to print, to broadcast, and everything about journalism. If you are interested in communication instruction, then uniquely you are being trained to teach communication skills at the tertiary level.
Yeah, now you're situating it. It's becoming clearer in that.
And then development communication is about people who are interested in working with NGOs, project management, talking about communication in development.
Okay.
And so that is the focus of that department too.
Now that you've laid the bedrock for the conversation, I'd like you to tell us a bit more about the Department of Communication and Media Studies. Okay. What are the core focal areas, and what does this department basically do?
The school. Yeah. You mean the school of
Yes.
the department?
Yes.
Or the departments?
I'm talking about the department.
Okay, so
let's do the School of Communication and Media Studies. That's the overarching.
Yes, yes. Okay, so the School of Communication and Media Studies actually started in 2007 as a Department of Communication and Media Studies to train only postgraduate students.
Okay.
However, in 2020, we had the opportunity for the department to be upgraded into the status of a faculty or a school.
Okay.
And so within this school, we have 4 departments and 1 center. I've already mentioned the 4 departments, but we have a center which is a hub of research known as the Center for Communication, Education, Research and Professional Development. So basically, these are the 5 strands in the school.
Including, so the 4 departments.
And then the center. Yeah.
Okay, so the center does it, what specifically is it?
It's a research hub.
Okay, for all 4 departments?
Yes, all 4 departments. So we run short courses. We also run professional development programs, like short courses and other things for the school.
So there's a nexus between the center and all the
departments. Yeah.
But for you, Doc, then in terms of the programs, what programs do you run at the School of Communication?
So just like you rightly mentioned, there are 4 departments in the school. And so we have the Department of Strategic Communication for those who would like to specialize in areas like public relations, advertising, corporate communication, management communication, political communication. And then we have the Department of Journalism and Media Studies for specializations in online, print, broadcast, and multimedia journalism. And then for those who are interested in NGO management, or they are interested in community development initiatives, or they are interested in working with development partners or agencies, or are into project development, then the Department of Development Communication is the best fit for that applicant at the School of Communication and Media Studies. And just like we rightly mentioned, the Department of Communication Instruction is specifically designed for those who would like to teach communicative skills in higher educational institutions, including universities and colleges of education. Now we have a range of programs ranging from Bachelor of Arts to Master of Arts to Master of Philosophy to Doctor of Philosophy in each of these 4 categorizations. And so, for example, we have Bachelor of Arts in Strategic Communication, in Development Communication, in Journalism and Media Studies, Master of Arts in Strategic Communication, and so on and so forth.
So it flows through.
It flows
each of
through.
them, there's a BA, there's an MA,
there is an MPhil. But with our MPhil program, it's a 1-year top-up. And so those who have an MA in communication and would like to top up to do an MPhil, you can come to the School of Communication and Media Studies. And our PhD program is also 3 years. Okay. And you specialize
3 years?
Yes,
fixed.
3 years, fixed.
Yes. Okay.
If you are serious, you should finish in 3 years. So if you come and you are serious, you should graduate in 3 years.
Yeah,
so
there's a catch in there.
Exactly.
It's dependent on your serious.
Exactly. If you work very hard. And so with our PhD, it is in Communication and Media Studies. But you specialize in any of these areas. Either you specialize in strategic communication, development communication, journalism and media studies, or communication instruction. So these are the programs we have at the School of Communication and Media Studies.
Prof, I'll come to you with a substantive question, but you mentioned that initially you had started with, graduate programs and all of that. So at what point did you start with the undergraduate programs attached to?
It began in 2020.
2020.
Yeah,
so it's been
2019-2020 academic year. So our first batch will be graduating soon.
Right. Soon. And what has it been like since you introduced undergraduate programs?
Well, it's been great. You see, we pride ourselves in the quality of education that we provide, and then our students also make us proud. There's a component for internship. We've even had some students here. And then the feedback that we received after the internship shows that we are doing very well. And so it's been good since we started.
Okay, let's focus now on admissions requirements. Anywhere you go, they have their own systems they run. For the University of Education Winneba and specifically for the School of Communication and Media Studies, what are your admission requirements?
So I'll take part and my colleague will also take part. So let me begin with the undergraduate requirements. For somebody to enroll in any of our BA programs or undergraduate program, the person must be a holder of WASI. You could have the WASI. And then the requirement is that you should have 6 credits.
Okay.
And it should be from A1 to C6. And then
no D7.
No D7. And then there should be 3 core and 3 electives. The electives can come from any area, but the core must be English, Maths, Science, or Social Studies. So it could be science, it could be social studies. So from A1 to C6, you qualify.
So what if the people meet these qualifications, but the other ones that add on are maybe a D something? How do you
For the D, sometimes they look at the courses that you offered, and then they can determine whether you may start from a diploma from somewhere and come and do the post-dip in communication. It's allowed. So you can do a diploma in theater arts or theater studies, and then you do the post-diploma or in communication.
I was going
to flexible.
Yeah, I was going to add that we have some diploma programs in the university, and so sometimes the admissions office will recommend to such a prospective applicant to try any of our diploma programs.
The good thing is that for the communication, you don't need to come in with any relevant area or subjects. Even if you did agric or physics or whatever, you can do communication.
Yes, of course. I mean, I know people who have done engineering, who have done law, who have gone. So it's that.
So that's the good thing about it.
And we have a lot of students like that at the School of Communication and Media Studies, and they are doing very, very well. Some came with physics backgrounds, and they are now doctors.
Wow. Yeah. You've been able to form them to get to that point. But what are the admission? What's the application process like? We've spoken about the admission requirements.
Okay.
What's the process like?
So once you satisfy the entry requirements, the application processes are very simple and they are very convenient as well.
Okay.
And the application is online. So basically you need...
I was just about to ask, is it purely online?
It's online. And so what you need to have is an application voucher. And there are 3 options to get the application voucher. So you can get it from the University of Education Winneba website at www.uew.edu.gh. You go to admissions and you go to apply online, and then you can buy the voucher from any of the mobile money platforms, whether it is MTN, Momo, or Voda Cash or AT Money. We also have a e-voucher system where you can simply dial the short code, and the short code is *887*9#.
Okay, I think you should repeat that.
Yes. Star 887*#.
Okay.
Yeah, *887*9#.
Okay.
Yes.
So
*887*9#. Yes. Okay. And then you basically follow the prompts, and then you can purchase your online voucher. And it works on all mobile networks in Ghana. You can also get a voucher from designated banks, including GCB Bank, Zenith Bank, Republic Bank, ADB Bank. So you can, once you get a voucher, you basically have to go online to apply into your preferred program.
Okay.
Yeah.
And don't forget the website as well, www.uew.edu.gh. Yeah, that is it. But coming back to you, Prof, why should anyone be interested in the programs that you have on offer? You know, it's I wouldn't say dog eat dog, because that's a bit, but all these institutions, from my alma mater, the University of Ghana, to the UPSA, to all these institutions, you're all competing in the same space. What sets you apart, and what would make an applicant want to apply to your school at the UEW?
Okay. You see, there are only 2 communication institutions in Ghana now. The School of Communication and Media Studies and the others.
I like that. For a moment I was like, wait, there are more than that.
Yes.
You and all the others.
Yes, us and all the others.
Okay.
Why do we say this? Like I said from the beginning, we pride ourselves in the quality of education that we provide. We have students almost in every university of communication in Ghana who are lecturers. If we aren't that good, how did we then get people to be teaching?
How would your products be there?
How will our products be there teaching? It is because of the quality education that we give to them. That is why they are now modeling what they learned in other institutions. Right. So we have the faculty to provide what they need. We have leading people who are leading experts in their fields of endeavor. And so we want to tell students to apply to the School of Communication and Media Studies, and they'll be glad they did.
Okay.
Let me add that even though we've been around for only a few years compared to other communication education training institutions, our graduates are everywhere. They are everywhere in renowned and reputable corporate institutions and academic institutions in Ghana and outside Ghana. And within this short time, we've been able to produce at least 20 PhD students who are working either in Ghana or abroad. And Professor Hammond here and myself are proud graduates of the School of Communication and Media Studies. So we are pioneering,
and you have
pioneering,
lecturing as
yes,
well.
we are pioneering students of the School of Communication and Media Studies. We enrolled in 2007.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so some what? 16 years now.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Very.
And the department now as school has been able to, hold it all together like this. So interesting stuff. If you're contemplating getting, an education in communications, media, journalism at this level, this is where you have to go. Earlier, it would just be at the postgraduate level, but now they're also offering graduate, undergraduate studies as well. But to wrap the conversation, I would like to find out, what are your final words? Maybe you can issue your final thoughts to prospective applicants.
So to all prospective applicants, we are saying that if you want to be an exceptional communicator, or if you are looking for a communication training institution that will boost your career prospects, then we are recommending the School of Communication and Media Studies at the University of Education, Winneba. We have already mentioned that we have a range of contemporary state-of-the-art programs that you can choose from, ranging from Bachelor of Arts to Master of Arts to Master of Philosophy to Doctor of Philosophy. And so applications are still ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
when is the deadline?
The deadline is 22nd December 2023.
Okay.
And so we are also encouraging parents who are looking for bachelor's programs in communication for their awards to consider the School of Communication and Media Studies at the University of Education, Winneba. They should come for the best communication training experience.
All right. I hope the charges are
So when I talked about the WASI, I didn't mention holders of SSCE too.
Right.
They can also come in from A to D, but then it's not a D7.
Okay.
So from A to D, they should also have 6 passes, the core, 3 core, and 3 electives in any area, just as we talked about for the WASI students as well, the WASI holders.
So for further inquiries, we have some contacts that prospective applicants can call. Yes, so they can call 054 8361 938. I'll take that again. Yes. 054 8361 938 or 0244 295164. I'll take that again.
That again too.
0244 295164.